All right, 6:02 in the Rose City. Time for Jordan Sprague on Portland Sports Leader 105.1, The Fan and the Fan Sports Network. Good morning, hello, happy Thursday, everybody.
What is happening?
Happy Thursday morning's going well out there, everybody.
It's off to a pretty good start so far. No issues, no spills. Easy drive in.
Yeah.
We're 2 for 2.
Yeah, free chargers.
You got a charger today?
Finally.
Hey, look at that. Those damn thieves in the neighborhood.
It's not easy to be a soy boy sometimes.
Sometimes you can't roll the dice there, man. You got to make sure you're fully charged so you can get home today after the show.
Left yesterday 30 miles from here to home. I'm like, oh, God.
You didn't know if you were going to make it or not.
Charge all day at my house. This sucks. Not a fan.
Got to find a place to stop on the way home. It's probably pretty easy, though, to find a place to stop, I would imagine.
Yeah, the only problem with the charging situation, one, if you're going to have a car that charges, like I'm getting to the end of the lease. I leased for the first time ever.
Sure.
I think I'm going to finance.
Yeah.
I'm kind of leaning that way.
Hedging that bet right now.
Versus spending like 12 G's on a car outright because I don't want a car payment.
Sure, it's not fun.
You got to add a home charger, like a legitimate one. I'm doing like literally a standard 3-prong plug-in, And it works enough to give me, like, I charge for 8 hours, and it gives me 20 miles.
Yeah, so you got enough at least.
I got enough juice to get in and
get
out.
around the neighborhoods and get to work, but that's about all it accomplishes.
No side trips. You got to go one spot and go one spot back. There's
I had
no
stuff to do.
side trips.
I was like, wife, taking the car. See you later.
No audibles. You got to get straight home, or else you're gonna be
straight
stuck.
there.
No side quests. Now, what's the cost of putting like a legitimate one in your house?
I haven't actually done any.
Okay.
I know PGE sends me these random, like, if you do this, you get this tax credit or something.
Yeah, you could get some tax breaks for it, I would imagine.
Yeah, I think so, but I don't know what the actual cost is.
Not smart enough to figure all that out. There's a few of them in the neighborhood when I walk around, and you can see them. They stick out like a sore thumb because they're always big. They're out front of the driveway.
Yeah.
The car's charging in the driveway.
You can put them in the garage, and then people have their cords come out of the garage door. Yeah.
You can, yeah. Some people have them have to like park on the side of the street. It's always cracks me up when I see like a cord coming underneath the
across the sidewalk, and it's just like,
and then, like put a couple cones up. Like, please don't unplug this, man.
Walk or run past it and trip over it.
Yes.
Well, you can't. Here's the thing: you can't unplug them.
Oh, you can't.
No. When they're in, they're locked in.
It's
Even
locked.
if you hit the button on it, it doesn't yank out.
So
that's what I'm saying. Some poor soul's going to trip over it because there's no way the cord's coming out.
So if you trip on one of those things, you're screwed.
Yep.
Next time I'm on my neighborhood run, I'll make sure to jump over the cord.
Well, I'm trying to weigh like what to spend the money on. Like, is it?
Have you seen the price of gas lately?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's pretty cool.
And I don't think it's going down.
No, not anytime soon.
At least there's no indication.
No.
Every day it changes. It's like we've won the war. It's over.
Right.
We're going to get a solution.
Yeah.
Oh, the ceasefire's been broken. Now
Sure.
we're back in a war.
Yeah, if you were living in South Carolina right now, probably not going to hit you as much. But in Portland, Oregon, it's it's a kick in the ass.
It is a kick in the ass because we have, a little more our gas prices are, but like still in South Carolina, they're paying $4 and some change.
I'm sure it's still incredibly
expensive. So for them, it's the same as if it is for us.
It's not even like I've got to the point, too, where I'll hunt sometimes. Like you drive around and always keep your eyes peeled when you drive by one because they got the amount up on their big board as you're driving down. And it's like there's literally no point. Everything they're like, I'm saving 3 pennies here or 2 pennies there compared to the one over here. But like it's ridiculous right now.
It's
so I'm a little jelly of the charger, but I get the charging situation. That's kind of a bitch.
Yeah, it is.
You
if I had one at home,
it
it wouldn't be a problem.
Not at all, because then you just charge at home all night. You wake up in the morning, you got a full battery every single day.
But there's the occasional, sometimes I have to go charge it. I know there's one at like a Target shopping mall area.
Right.
And I just like end up taking a nap in my car,
being
a weirdo charging for 40 minutes. And I'm like, I'm just like,
that's not the worst thing to do, though.
It's not the worst thing. It's just, it's a random
peace and quiet.
thing.
Nobody's
Honestly,
bugging you.
I use that as an excuse to get out of the house.
Yeah.
So, like, if the kids
do you
are
have a
riling me up,
charging
I'm like,
car?
okay, I'm going to charge the car. I have the 3-prong at home. I have the level 1 charger at home. So and then whenever I'm here, I'll go charge at there's some chargers just over in the parking lot back here.
Are you charging right now?
No.
Okay, I didn't know you had a charging car.
Look at that.
Chevy Bolt.
We're learning something new about Brandon every day.
The Brandons
I love
it. Charging.
He's like an onion. Every day
He
on the
is.
show, every day
there's a
that he
layer.
fills in, there's
Layers.
a new piece that gets peeled back, and we find out some new information. I'm quite a fan of
So
this.
did you finance yours? Are you financing or are you
Oh
leasing?
no, I bought it used during last year when they had all those tax credits, federal and state. So I just bought a used one that was like 7,000 straight up.
It was 7,000 straight up?
And the good thing about it is my Corolla got totaled like a month before, and so we got like 10,000 back from that.
So now you're
and
saving money.
We basically just replaced it without it coming out of pocket.
That's a great move right there.
Well, I see all these, I live in Clackamas, Damascus, Happy Valley area. Like I see a lot of trucks. And I'm just like, I still see people driving dualies, and I'm like, how are you affording
Prayers
this?
to your wallet.
That is what are you getting, 7 to the gallon? Like, how are you living? I don't know how people are living in some of the things that they're choosing to drive.
What are you eating? Yeah, what are you cutting out of your day-to-day life that is allowing you to afford gas to get around town
You on a
to
ramen
get to
diet?
and from work?
What's going on here?
I mean, the only saving grace for me right now is we moved closer to work last year, so my commute's not that far, and I don't really ever drive anywhere. Once I'm home, I'm usually kind of home. We can walk everywhere in the neighborhood. So I'm at like a fill up once every, I don't know, maybe once a month, to be honest with you. Like
really?
It does. I don't
That's
fill
not
up
too bad.
It's not too bad, but I usually run it all the way bone dry, and then you go for the fill up, and you got like 7 miles to go until your gas tank is empty, and you're like, uh-oh, this is gonna hit hard.
Well, I have a neighbor that has like a pretty big, I think it's a Tundra. But when I moved in, he was driving that thing all the time. And he pulled in yesterday. I was doing some yard work, and he pulled into his driveway, and he was driving his wife's Outback. And I'm like,
Yep.
Here we go. That truck not moving as much.
That's why we're taking the wife's car everywhere we go.
Yep.
We got the Forester as car number 2.
Well,
Gas mileage a little bit better.
I was going to say, do you drive the wife's car if you're driving around town?
If we're going somewhere, we always take her car.
Yeah.
Anytime we're taking the kids somewhere, we're running an errand, we got to go get groceries. Like anytime, like if she's at work, obviously I don't have that option. But if we're both home, then yeah, anywhere we go, we are taking her car. Unless it's like specific, like we had to do a mulch day last Friday, and that's when I become the mulch guy for the entire family, and so I got to deliver mulch to everybody. Obviously using the truck for that one, but any other scenario around the neighborhood, it's the Subaru is what we're taking.
Yeah, that's the thing about the charge is like I've had to keep my car constantly juiced because even though I'm spending a little bit more on charging, it's got to be cheaper than just filling my wife's car up.
Not even close.
Dude, it's
It
not
has
even
to.
close.
It's not even close.
The last time I did a full fill from an empty tank, it was over $100. And I can't tell you the last time it took me usually on normal gas times to fill up my tank, and I'm always like running all the way down.
Yeah.
Gas lights almost on, and then we fill up. You're usually looking at $60 to $70 to fill it up, the entire tank. And the last time I did a full fill, it was over $100.
Yeah, I think it. So I'm charging right now at our work. It's $1 an hour. So I'm going to spend about
Be here about five hours, give or take.
I mean, call it 4.
4, yeah.
So I'll spend $4. That car will give me juice for 2 to 3 days.
And now you're good.
Yeah.
Now you're set.
Yeah. Now sometimes
it's not even close to being a cost comparison.
Probably not.
Not
no.
close. The only question would be how much does it cost you to put one of those in your house? But eventually, again, the whole point is you're going to pay it off in the long run because you got an upfront payment. But eventually, if you're saving money charging elsewhere and you're just charging at home, like you're going to break even.
Well, even
it's like the idea of solar panels, which I'll probably never do, but you pay for them up
I've
front.
always wanted to.
And eventually, they pay for themselves, but it just takes a while in order to get there.
I guess what I'm asking is if I'm going to go back to gas.
Yeah, come on back, brother.
And we stop doing what other countries want us to do.
Right.
We make our own decisions.
Gas prices
ourselves.
come back down to normal.
But I asked you sincerely, what is going to be the new normal? It ain't going down to $2.20 here, dude.
No, it's not.
So is like the new normal $3.80?
It's one of those things that they realize.
They're going to get away with it.
Wait, people are willing to spend this much on gas? Oh, okay. We don't have to go all the way back down.
That's what I'm saying.
It's like when all those tariffs hit and all of a sudden everything's more expensive, but now I thought we're getting refund, but I'm not getting any of that money.
Where's my $2,000 check?
Where's my $2,000 check?
I thought the Doge guys were doing stuff.
They're just pocketing that money.
You see what I'm saying, though?
Keep prices exactly where they were. These idiots are spending this much already.
What does gas drop to that then they then name the new normal that we just go, okay, right. We all complain about it. We literally do nothing about it.
Yeah.
And we keep playing the game with them.
We also live in a state where we tax gasoline and it's a little bit more expensive in our own state. So it's a double whammy because we're not getting help at the federal level and we ain't getting help at the state level either.
So if the average ends up dropping to $3.30 at some point, we're still paying $3.70, $3.80?
Probably.
Right?
Probably.
It's about 30-40 cents more, right?
We're going to be a little bit more than everybody else.
So there you go.
Have fun with that.
Congratulations.
Yeah!
We're all broke.
We are, man. We're all broke boys.
Gen Z's posting videos now because they feel the need to defend themselves because they've got these. Have you seen like the Pussycat Dolls and Megan Trainers? They're trying to do these tours and they're not selling tickets.
Yeah, nobody's going anymore.
And they're having to come out and be like, unfortunately, due to scheduling conflicts, we're canceling. And it's like, no, nobody's buying your tickets. You just don't want to say that because you want to save face. Gen Z is making videos and it's like, we're broke.
Have you seen the price of these things, man? Are you kidding me?
Like screaming at their cell phones, recording themselves.
Look, I hope that this is actually a trend and that this is an evening out of the concert world. Because I've seen this is becoming, like even Post Malone had to postpone his recent tour, and that's like a decently sized name guy.
It's a pretty big name right now.
Who can blend into different genres and different cultures and different people wanting to go see him play. Country music and White Iverson combined, it's a very rare thing.
Right.
But I hope that we're fighting back against this. Anytime, I don't go to a lot of concerts, one, because of the job that we have, like weeknight concerts are just out the window.
I went to a Post Malone concert on a weeknight. That was tough.
It's not easy to do. And you wake
up
and go up the next morning. I got a 2-year-old at home, so like concerts are not on my radar whatsoever. But I see sometimes like the price of tickets and what they cost, and it just blows me away that people are willing to spend that. Like if you could get a good seat up front and you're not it's not an arm and a leg for you, by all means, I could get the point. But to sit up high and to watch an ant play music or watch the Jumbotron the entire time,
right,
and it's costing you like a half of a month's mortgage payment, what are we doing here?
Also, like, because we wear headphones every day,
yeah,
and we turn them up a little bit, like, I remember going to the Post Malone concert, and it was a great show. He did a good job. This is before he took the country turn.
Yes.
So he's still leaning into some of his White
Before
Iverson
his pivot,
roots.
he still had cornrows at this moment.
You could kind of sense he was pivoting into country, and so I'm like, I'm going to enjoy this because this may be the last Post Malone stuff I really listen to.
There's flannels in this guy's future.
Dude, we were in a section, and the speaker was just like, and I was just like, it's loud, I'm old, it's not good.
I love complaining about stuff
when
early
the
in the morning.
speaker sounds like this,
yeah.
You know you're old and washed. You know you're not enjoying a concert the same way.
It's fun, man. It's just blaring at me, dude. Can we turn it down a little bit? Turn the lights on. I can't see where I am.
Can we make this a theater of the clouds situation here,
just go
please?
half the arena, okay? Man, that stuff's way too expensive.
It's
way too expensive, and so good for people. Like we had the COVID stuff where concerts obviously shut down and nobody could go. And there's like growing theories that this is now like that COVID bubble has finally popped, because for a couple of years there we couldn't go to concerts, and then everybody crammed tours down because they were trying to make their money back from the money that they lost.
Also, people missed going to live events.
And it's like you
venues.
scratch that itch a little bit, and it's like, hey, that was fun. And then after 2 years of it, it's like, wait a minute. They want how much for what show? Blows me away. Like, Joe Fisher's a big concert guy, and he'll drop that from time to time of like, I was looking at tickets for X, Y, and Z. And you'll hear the name of the artist and like, that shouldn't be that expensive. And then he'll tell you how much the tickets cost. It's like, what? $300 for 2 tickets to go see who? They should be playing in a county fair.
Well, I know a couple of people are a little younger, and they don't have as many. One person has one kid, another person doesn't have any kids, and they went down to L.A. and went to that Kanye SoFi concert.
They did,
and I asked them how much it was, and I got left on red.
Yeah, they didn't tell you.
Well, because not only did they have to pay for that ticket,
right,
which
not cheap.
He's not.
He might be a Nazi, but that ain't cheap.
He's not retracting his Nazidom to come back to an empty venue.
He's not lowering prices for you.
And then, like, I'll say this about him. You can hate him all you want. I'm certainly have been there. It's still the best concert I've ever been to. His is like, not only the music part of it is amazing, it's the whole show.
Yeah, it's a good show.
Well, it's just like he puts so much into a show.
Well, he's quite the artist, don't you
His stage was moving. He had a robot. Like, I can't even explain it and do it service. Like, it was one of the more amazing things I've ever seen.
Yeah.
So, like, he's not doing that for $80 at the cheap seats.
Nope.
So it's funny they left me on red because I'm like, how much did that cost you?
It's one of those, like,
and you flew down to L.A.
I have that from time to time with golf rounds. Like, that's my equivalent of that. If I play a golf round in a place and somebody, like, I'm ashamed sometimes of like, I'm not going to tell you how much.
You golf at places that are like so expensive?
Very rarely, but like when on vacation, like if I'm over in Central Oregon or on a golf trip or something and somebody sets up a tee time at a place and you're like, yeah, that was, like Bandon Dunes is kind of this way. If you go down to Bandon, it's going to cost you a lot to go play 18 holes.
But you don't need to say that. People already know.
People already know.
That's a bucket list.
That's a bucket list place.
Right.
So not the exact comp.
What I would say is perfect is your bachelor party during COVID.
Yes.
When we clearly broke a lot of COVID rules.
Yes, we did.
We golfed in Central Oregon, and we golfed at a private spot that we somehow got access to.
You're welcome.
Yeah.
But how much was it? It was expensive.
It was $215.
Yeah.
And I remember I'd never paid more than like $100 for a round at that point in my life. And I remember like my hand shaking. I was contemplating like, how much do I like this guy?
Yeah. I wouldn't have blamed you at all.
I support love. Love is love. But also,
we were close to the house at that point too. Just go jump across the street, man. Go hang out at the mansion. You'll be all right.
Yeah.
Jump in the hot tub.
But am I not going to?
We'll see you in 4 hours.
Wait, I'm going to be the one person not doing it? So I was just like, charge it.
Yeah. Do it. Throw it
Pay
up.
that off in 2 weeks. Regret it.
We'll get to that one later.
And I shot a 104. It wasn't great. It wasn't good. It kicked my ass.
Makes it even worse when you spend that much and you don't play well.
Oh yeah.
At least you get your money's worth, right? It's like $2 a shot right there, buddy.
Yeah,
that's not bad.
Yeah, I like the way you're looking at that.
I shot like an 82. I'm not getting as much money out of every shot out here. Okay.
I saw way more of the course than you
did. You're over here. You're over there.
Let me tell you about the rough and the trees.
Checking out 2 different fairways at the same time.
They manicured into the woods.
I'm on 10 and 11 right now. What do you know about that? Huh? 2 holes at once, baby.
Unbelievable, man. Unbelievable.
So that's the equivalent of concerts for me. Like there are times, like we went on a bachelor trip for the brother-in-law 2 years ago. I don't know. Time doesn't make sense. But we went and played the private side of Brasada. And that was one of like.
How much did that cost?
Excuse me, what?
Was it $180?
I don't remember. It was more than that. It was more than Crosswater. I don't remember
really?
exactly how much it cost, but I just
Like
remember,
almost $3.
Like, okay, this is what we're playing today.
I love
All right.
the people. Like, you're kind of one of these.
I mean, the course is unbelievable.
Yeah.
It's like you get out there, and Crosswater was the same way. Walk around, you're like, this place is dope. But
What I love about Dirt is he's admitting the truth of like how nerve-wracking it could be to like pay, let's call it $350 to play a place like this, right? Like, holy crap. And then in the same vein, after he pays that, he's like, damn, he's got to buy the $100 Basada Ranch polo.
I mean, you gotta get a polo when you're there. You gotta add a polo to the collection.
Why would you not at that
It's a
point?
sweet logo, dude. I'm already in it for so much skin in the game. I might as well add a polo to the collection while I'm
I
at
think
it.
that's what I love the most is like, yeah, dude, it was crazy, ridiculous, expensive. And then he's wearing the polo that cost
God.
at least $100.
How nice is that polo, though? It's a good looking polo.
You're breathing
Dude,
pretty good, huh?
It's breathable.
Breathing pretty good.
I
There'd
mean,
be no coffee stains on that.
no
polo.
coffee stains on that one. We ain't eating nothing. We're going shirtless when we're eating. When that shirt's on, we're taking it off before
Yep.
we eat anything.
That's why you raw dog.
We're
not going to worry about anything falling on
Ain't
that
no
polo.
mustard or ketchup on that hot dog that day, man. That ain't happening.
Yeah. So, yeah, everything's expensive.
Everything is very expensive.
Breaking news.
I'm
more
glad you're
11.
charging today, though. You can get home okay.
I'll be all right.
We got that going for us.
You know what? I am going to call PG. I'm still on the fence of what to do here.
Yeah.
I don't want to spend a huge lump sum of money, but I also hate car payments.
Yeah.
I fundamentally do not believe in car payments, but
Brandon had the right strategy, man. I mean, getting totaled, obviously not a part of the plans,
Nope.
but you got to turn it into something positive.
It was very fortunate.
Yes.
Very
I know,
fortunate.
but the idea of losing.
And you're pocketing a little bit of money because the car didn't even cost the full insurance payment.
Yep, that helped for sure.
That's a dub right
See, the
there.
insurance money helps because if I don't have insurance money, losing that amount of money is just like, damn
Damn it.
it, man. Not good.
No.
Not good at all.
And once you buy a car, you drive it off the lot, guess what?
Yeah.
Value's gone down.
Do you know what my oldest, and I think my youngest, but I know my oldest, since she was like 3, I'm not kidding here, I will be able to say things like, what's a new car? Depreciating asset. Like
Teach 'em young.
I have plugged it into her brain
Yeah.
to not care about having good, nice, expensive cars.
No, man.
You can have one if
Yeah.
that's what you want to do. That's
Sure,
great.
You got them. Yeah.
$95,000 vehicle. I'm in. Like I'm just not in on it. I've been teaching her since she was like 3.
Yeah, you got to get that one through, man. That's a good life lesson to learn. You're almost at the brink of needing a kid car. You're getting close.
Yeah, we're debating what to do there. Do we give her the paid-off wife car?
Yeah, and then get the wife a new car.
Yeah.
But then you got that car payment.
And there's another car
Or do you
payment.
just go find something super cheap on a used lot for like $2,000?
Well, my wife also doesn't really. We just need to run.
Yeah,
She doesn't really care about cars either.
sure. That's a good thing.
Yeah.
That you just need to get to point A to point B. But yeah, you're almost at the brink of needing another car around the
Thanks
house.
for the reminders. Nice start to the show there.
Good
I'm
luck with
broke, and I'm about to be more broke.
You need a car, and the kid needs a car.
Well, let's move on.
Cars for kids, man. What are they up to these days?
I sold a car for kids.
Did
Cars
ya?
for kids.
Was
yeah.
it a good deal?
$77.
1877.
They came and towed it.
Hey,
$77 check.
I mean, that's not bad.
Pretty sure I got ripped off there.
Yeah,
Well, we have a lot to get into. We have a guest today at 7:27.
we do. Let's talk some football.
Landon Tangwall will join us. We'll talk some college football with him. But let's get it going. We'll start with the NBA playoffs. We had the Sixers-Knicks game, and then whatever that Timberwolves-Spurs thing was. We'll start there. Dirt and Sprague on 105.1 The Fan.
Desk, a Sports Center update on the Fan Sports Network, 105.1 FM and 1080 AM.
First on the Fan, despite no Joel Embiid, the Sixers gave the Knicks a fight in Game 2, but Jalen Brunson and his 26 points helped New York pull away late for a 108-102 win and a 2-0 series lead. Karl Anthony Towns also with a nice game, 20 points, 10 rebounds, 7 assists. Out west, the Spurs destroyed the Timberwolves in Game 2, 133-95 to tie up that series at 1-1. Victor Wembanyama with a double-double, 19 points, 15 rebounds. It was the largest playoff loss in Timberwolves history. Game 3 for both of those series coming up tomorrow. In the Stanley Cup playoffs, the Sabres beat the Canadiens in Game 1 of the second round, 4-2, and the Ducks took down the Golden Knights in Game 2, 3-1. That series now tied at a game apiece. In baseball, the Mariners beat the Braves 3-1 to take 2 out of 3 in that series. Brian Wu threw 6 scoreless innings with 9 strikeouts and allowed 1 hit. I'm Brandon Henson from the George McCoy at Warren Allen Sports Desk. Don't call your mom. Call George McCoy at warrenallen.com.
This is the Fan Sports Network.
Well, I didn't want it to continue on, but unfortunately, Diana Rossini and Mike Vrabel are going nowhere as a story.
Not going away anytime soon.
This one may be one of the more uncomfortable ones.
You ever rented a boat with a mistress?
While she's pregnant with a child that she's eventually going to name as the same name as you?
Yeah.
No, I haven't done that.
Haven't done that one?
Can't say that I have.
Didn't pull that card off? That
No.
probably wouldn't be well appreciated at home.
No, I can't say that I've done that.
No.
Vrabel and Rossini shared a boat together in June of 2021 while she was pregnant with her first child, who she coincidentally named Michael.
Just uncomfortable. Every single one that comes out seems to be worse than the last. You wonder, have we hit the bottom? Nope.
I thought the story was kind of fading. Finally, I thought it had
For
faded.
about 10 days, we were fading into the background a little bit. It hadn't gotten completely away, but it had faded a little bit, and then this one shot it right back to the forefront.
So, if you're saving your marriage department, which one of them or either of them has shared or not shared all there is? So when this stuff comes out, the spouse or significant other isn't like,
"Are you kidding me?
What?
Wait, what?"
You know what I mean? Like, did
There's
Vrabel
another
sit down
detail?
and say, "Look, this is really what happened. I had an affair for 6 years. I apologize. I am a human being. I ask for your forgiveness, and we met up here. We did this. We went there."
You got to check everything off the list that you ever did together, so there's not a surprise that comes to the news.
Because they're digging.
They're digging.
At this point, TMZ will dig and find anything they can.
Yep.
So I'm wondering, do you think they both have told their significant others all of the details, or do you think their significant others are waking up going, what?
I mean, I'd imagine Diana Rossini's not with her significant other anymore. I just would think that that's not going to happen. We have not seen a official divorce filing yet,
No.
but I just don't have a feeling that that's going to last based on not only all of this, but her public comments that preceded that about her husband that we played the audio of.
Yeah.
That made everybody very uncomfortable. Like, that's just, I give that a 0.00001% chance of survival. Okay, that's not happening. The death rate of that marriage is nearly concrete. Now, Vrabel as an NFL head coach maybe feels a little bit different. Remember, he's going to counseling, okay? He's working on himself now. He even missed day 3 of the NFL draft. What a bold move on his part. He bought his wife a sweatsuit at the Salt Lake City airport, okay? So he's going over the top to try and save this thing. I can't imagine why anybody would want to be married to either one of these people after all of this has gone down, but to each their own, I guess. I just give him a slightly better chance of survival just because of who he is, and he's an NFL head coach, and I don't know. I just, there's no chance Rossini and her husband stick together.
I think the follow-up on Rossini would be, babe, if we can make it through this,
we can make it through anything.
we can make it through anything.
If we can overcome this difficult spot in our relationship.
Thank you, Diana. Thank you for clarifying
Think about
that.
how strong our relationship will be coming out of this on the other side. Like, just put yourself on either side of the shoes.
That's terrible.
Like, if you did this to your wife, there's no chance your wife's staying with you.
Also,
And if your wife did this to you, there's no chance you're staying with your wife.
the amount of stuff that's already come out about them, I promise you, I asked the question, but I'm sincere here. There's no way they've remembered all of these hangouts.
No, at this point, if it's been this long and this
6
like,
years of
yeah.
secret hangouts that have gone on for how many times?
Yeah, maybe
this
because
is a relationship.
It is. Maybe if it's a little more exotic, it makes you remember more. But do you remember what you were doing on a vacation 4 years ago with your wife?
No.
I couldn't tell you.
No, the wife and I both were trying to think back. What did we do last Mother's Day?
I had to track back of okay, I think was that the year that we went to? Was that the no?
What'd you do for your wife's birthday last year? Not to put you on the spot, but my point here is it's not that it's not special. It's just that, life, man.
Yeah, it's pretty bad, especially with kids involved. You get a little distracted.
You've been sick 8 times this winter.
One day bleeds into the next.
Exactly.
And you're like, wait a minute, it's already Thursday? I feel like it's been 2 days of the week so far.
Exactly.
It's just flying by. So, no, I couldn't answer that question.
So not great for Vrabel and Rossini, but that's
Who's going to get that Rossini interview? Who's going to nab that one? Is that a Barstool? Is it a Pardon My Take?
I'm going to continue to push back here. I just, more than stuff, this is disgusting.
Yeah, it's awful.
You're pregnant with your child and you're having the affair on a boat.
It's awful.
And then you end up naming the child the same name.
There's no defending anybody on either side of this.
I'm going to go with the original take. I don't think she's coming back. I think this is over. This is over. Even for the levels of Barstool, this is over.
I'm not quite there yet.
What are you getting out of it? She's never going to be an insider again.
No. No.
So what are you getting out of it?
A personality. Barstool has a lot of bad personalities that I don't think are very good. So
That's fine.
She would fit in that regard.
So you're going to try to do Call Her Daddy Part 2?
Yeah, probably. I don't know. I don't know what her future is.
All right.
I just don't think her career's over, but I don't necessarily think it's the worst take in the world. I just know how society usually works, and we move on. And she'll do some funny interview or some saving grace interview, and not everybody, but some people will run to defend her.
Sure.
And, you didn't understand, and it was so difficult, and go down.
People are doing that?
That will happen. That side of the argument will come out when she does an interview. She hasn't done anything publicly. So that's the reason it hasn't happened yet. The second those clips start going viral and she's on Call Her Daddy and it tops the biggest Taylor Swift podcast hits we've ever seen before, I think that will be the relaunch of her career. There are now people in the NFL who, by the way, think there's a non-zero chance that Vrabel gets fired, which I still don't go down that road.
Wait, there's a non-zero chance?
It's greater than zero. It's not a 0% chance. 5%, 2%, whatever you want to put it at.
Yeah, I saw people with this take. Oh, definitely not going to be there week 1. I'm like, again, do you know what his boss did?
Yeah.
And the NFL got way out in front of this. It was like, we're not punishing this guy.
Should we grade the severity of each action? What's worse, cheating on your wife for 6 years with an insider in the league?
Providing information from your team?
Probably about players and coaches and personnel on your team and other teams?
Yeah.
Or getting a rub and tug in Miami? Neither one's great.
I think one being the owner makes a difference.
It absolutely does. And one there's a workplace conflict of interest angle to it that doesn't exist with the rub and
one's
tug.
legal, one's just morally wrong.
Yes. What information was he providing her?
Yeah.
That's a lingering question that we don't know.
What a story.
There's no happy endings here. Is the reality to this story.
Unless you're Robert Kraft.
Unless they just get together. What if they did that? Both husbands
they come out
and wives.
And say, this is our kid.
Dude, screw it. These
We've
are
been
our
hiding
kids.
It. We're in love.
We're done. Now I'm the Patriots insider.
Well, no, now she's just Taylor Swift. They show her in the box.
Just
That's how we see Rossini the rest of her life.
You're clearly in love. There's clearly something here. We might as well pursue it, guys.
That's crazy.
See what we can land on.
That's crazy. Knicks Sixers, huh?
How about that game?
That's a good game.
It was funny because we did our parlay yesterday on the show. We took the dogs.
Yeah.
And then the second we get off the air, we find out that Joel Embiid's not playing.
I was so pissed.
That was opening segment of Harrison Meringue. We're sitting out here in the bullpen, and we hear the breaking news sounder. I'm like, oh, what juicy news is Patrick? What? No Joel Embiid? And we have people tweeting us of well, there goes that parlay. And ironically, they covered the number.
I was more worried on the Minnesota end of it. Now, winning straight up, that flew out the window. But if you took the points because you liked our thinking, you just didn't like the money line of it.
Yeah.
You were okay on that end. You weren't okay on the other end if you took the dog.
No.
25 lead changes and 76ers Knicks.
A fun game.
It's the most in any playoff game in 11 years.
Wow, that's a hell of a stat.
Yeah, it's the most recent playoff game with 25-plus lead changes since Spurs at Clippers, first round 2015.
That's pretty remarkable. It felt like that. I wouldn't have been able to tell you the number off the top of my head. Really good game, though. Philly played hard. You knew that they would. New York was due for a little bit come-down-to-earth game after their blowout in Game 1. They weren't going to win by 30 in my mind. Edgecombe was fantastic. Philly found other guys that kind of stepped up.
Their fourth quarter was abysmal.
They just could not find a bucket, and it was,
12 points.
Yeah, New York went on it was tied. New York goes on a 9-0 run, and you're kind of like, all right, that's it. I don't know if you're going to find enough offense here in the last couple of minutes to overcome that. It just stings because you had a chance to steal one on the road without Embiid in the lineup. Had they won that game, the feeling on the series is drastically different. Not that they're done. They're going home. You win game 3.
I think it's done.
And I don't blame you for that.
I don't think they're beating 4 of the next 5 games against New York.
I also don't think so. But you win game 3 and game 4. We'll see what happens. Embiid, I'm assuming, will be back in the lineup for game 3. Like, they're toast if he's not playing.
I have no clue what his health status is.
You can win a game without him. You're not winning the series without him. So they desperately need him back. But kudos to them at least for playing hard and making it a watchable game, because it was the reverse of what we had on Monday. The second game was over basically 4 minutes into the second quarter. You're like, all right, Minnesota can't score a bucket, and San Antonio's up. They ain't looking back here.
Yeah, super random sports fan thing. I utterly despise the Knicks wear those black uniforms at home.
Agreed.
You're
Agreed.
the Knicks.
It's blasphemous.
What are you doing?
You have one of the best uniforms in all of sports.
Just a standard, iconic white uniform that
White,
looks
blue,
great on
orange.
your court.
It's perfect.
Yeah.
What are we doing?
I don't know, man.
They're ugly.
At least they're their colors and not like their carpet jersey, but I bet you there's Knicks fans that feel the same way about those jerseys as we do about our carpet jerseys.
And they don't change the floor, do they?
No,
That's
the
same.
floor
Yeah,
stays the same.
It's MSG. You're not changing.
Yeah,
you're not changing Madison
Do
Square
they
Garden.
change the floor?
Well, teams do that around the NBA, like the Spurs
Not
when they
in the
go
playoffs.
in the Fiesta. They do. The Spurs
well,
literally
I
just
guess
did.
The Spurs do. Yeah, you're right.
That was night and day.
Yeah,
Like black
you're right.
and white game 2.
Two
compared to
colorful
Fiesta
Fiesta
game 1.
colors.
Like, it looked like
So,
a total different
Spurs
game.
not
Different
iconic, though.
Center logo too.
I would argue their throwbacks are iconic. Not as iconic as
No,
the
franchise-wise.
Knicks. Yeah,
They're not the Knicks.
They're not the. Well, they have a lot more success than the Knicks.
Yeah, but they're not talked about nearly the amount of time the Knicks are.
No, they're not.
Who's
No.
in the Garden?
Who's won a
in
lot
New
more
York?
games and a lot more championships in my life? It's not even a debate. They're the
Yeah.
best organization of my lifetime, are they not? Has anybody won more titles than them?
The Lakers have.
5, right? 6? No, bubble.
I mean,
would
of
be
your
6.
life.
How many do the Spurs get?
You're
in
counting
total?
your full life, or are we counting a certain point here?
We could count my full life since 1989. Bulls have 6,
The Lakers have 3 with Shaq, Kobe,
and then 2 with
2 with
Kobe, Gasol, and then
and
the
then
bubble.
1.
So they have 6. So
They
Bulls
got
and
6.
Lakers have 6.
Spurs have 5.
They have 5. Is that how
Yeah.
many they finished with?
Yeah.
So
Bulls
second
have
most.
6 if you want to count the Bulls.
Yeah, so they'd be in second place. Miami has 3?
4.
4?
No, 3.
3?
Because they won 2 with LeBron and then D Wade's
1.
06.
Yeah, the Shaq Wade one.
Yeah.
Boston has a couple.
Boston has 2.
2. Anybody we're missing in there that had a good run?
Rockets got 2.
Warriors got, how many Curry have? 4?
4.
Curry's got 4.
Warriors, that's who we were missing.
Yeah, so they'd be in 3rd or 4th.
Yeah.
So they're up there.
Yeah. Minnesota, San Antonio, not as good a game.
That game was
Blowout
terrible.
game, so.
Turn it off at halftime.
We can give a little thoughts on that. And then I got something else I want to move on to. Just interesting stuff in the NBA last night with Draymond Green and Charles Barkley. I want to talk about that on the other side. Dirt and Sprague, back with more on 105.1, The Fan. Got some odds and ends for audio to get to coming up here at the top of the hour. One of them is NBA related. And the other is a college basketball video. And I want to ask you if you think this is the wave of colleges or college coaches.
Okay.
And how it's not going well, but this person is just saying, I don't care, I'm going to do this anyway.
Ooh.
So I'll bring that to you at the top of the hour. Landon Tangwall is going to join us. He is a former offensive lineman for Penn State. He's going to hop on at the bottom of the 7 a.m. hour. We'll talk some college football, some spring football takeaways, don't you know, Andrew?
He's the level of nerd that I love. If you're doing spring film breakdowns, you're my kind of guy, Landon. Come on down.
And we'll get his thoughts on the expansion of the playoff, how the Big Ten's going to stack up this year, and his opinion of how the Big Ten separates itself, or has at least for 3 seasons, from the SEC. So we'll talk with Landon Tangwall coming up in the 7 a.m. hour. Not a whole lot in that Spurs-Minnesota game.
No.
I was quite disappointed. I got done with basketball last night, and I opened my phone. I'm like,
what's the score? It's
what?
No.
I kept it on until roughly late third, and then I was like, yeah, it's done. It's a 30-point game.
It's a bull move, Cotton. That was a flip-off at halftime for me, and a check on the ESPN app every 10-ish minutes of like, let's just make, yep, okay. Let's just make sure, yep, okay.
The wife asking the best question, why is Wemby still in? I go, I have no clue. They're up 30 points. This game is over.
I would have sat him down. Now, to be fair to them, they did see in their elimination game against us, they had a 30-point halftime lead, and we cut it to 9.
Yeah.
So they made him worry a little bit there in the back half of the game. So maybe that was the thought for San Antonio of like, let's not let that happen again. I know they still ended up winning by double digits. Minnesota certainly better than us, so they're capable of doing that. They couldn't find any offense. San Antonio smothered them defensively early in the game. They were lucky to get 20 points in the first quarter. Outside of a couple Randall buckets, like they were really close to having like a 12-point opening quarter. And San Antonio wouldn't light the world on fire, but then you compounded all those misses from Minnesota, fast break buckets the other way. That was a runaway freight train where they held on until, I want to say about 6 minutes in the first half. You're like, all right, it's like 10-12. It's still within contact. And then all of a sudden you look up and you're like, wait a minute, they're up by 25. It escalated very quickly. And San Antonio did what they needed to do. Like, you lost game 1, you blew it. You had to come out and win game 2. They got it done. Still, I think your take is going to end up being correct. Probably the most compelling series of the second round. That just was a really bad performance by Minnesota.
Are you willing to say New York Philly's done?
I'm not quite there yet.
Even
I know
though
that
it's
might be
2-0?
dumb. There's something about New York being funky at times,
Okay.
and then Embiid's impact at the end of the Philly Boston series was huge. Man.
I just don't know
And I
what
get
is
it.
that health status.
I don't know. He keeps getting hurt, and now he's not available. He's on the training table all day. If he comes back and looks good in Game 3 and they win Game 3, you got a little bit of life there.
Okay.
So I'm not quite willing to say it's done yet, but I certainly will acknowledge my Philly ticket's not looking great right now.
OKC and LA.
That's done. That's done.
Cleveland, Detroit.
You can't say done for either of those teams.
Best answer would have been, who cares?
Yeah.
It's far and away a series people care about the least.
Yeah, it's not even close. Because on one in the West, we know there's no chance, but at least
Yeah.
we get to appreciate LeBron for a couple of games.
I guess, yeah.
For 4, maybe 5. We'll see how long it goes.
Right.
But it ain't going longer than 5.
What does Oklahoma City want it to be? 4 or 5? We'll have to wait and find out.
They take a night off, then we'll go 5.
Whereas the Minnesota game, I didn't think Minnesota played their best game, and Edwards could have played better, and they still got a Game 1 win.
They did.
But you see the other side of that is what they can look like when they're not playing well, and San Antonio is playing well.
Yeah.
See you later, good night. That game's never close.
I do have a feeling, and maybe I'm being disrespectful to New York here, because Indiana certainly made me look like an idiot last year. Nobody saw them coming or being competitive in the finals, and if Halliburton doesn't pop his Achilles in Game 7, who knows what that series ends up looking like. There is a feeling, though, like no matter who gets to the Western Conference Finals, I just feel like that's the NBA championship. Like Minnesota and all the runs that they've been on and having the player of Anthony Edwards, if they are to win the series, or vice versa, San Antonio, that has a Seahawks-Rams vibe to me. I would be very surprised if the Knicks or whoever else is to come out of the East is to win an NBA championship. That would be a shocker for me.
Why do you think that?
Shocker maybe
We
is not
watched
the right
Indiana
word. I mean, I literally just said that. I know.
Well, I know.
I get it.
I'm kind of surprised you would go with that take.
Are you betting on New York to beat OKC in the NBA Finals? No.
I don't know if I'm dismissing the idea of it.
I'm not
I think
trying to
that's
say
the
there's a
thing.
0%
like, what
chance.
if Brunson is otherworldly Brunson?
Yeah, he could be great.
Cat
Can he be
takes
great
it
for
to
7
Chet.
games? Can he be great for an entire series, not one game?
I mean, yeah, why not? So you think it's a formality that it's OKC's to
I hope I'm wrong.
reign supreme?
Because I hate Oklahoma
feels
City.
that way,
with
certainly,
a
but-
passion of a burning sun. I hate Oklahoma
I
City.
think because of how shocking it was to see Indiana do to Oklahoma City what they did, even though it was Oklahoma City's first go-around
you had a
at
very
it.
young team who had never been there before, going through it for the first time. First
Right.
series playoff run. The only other year they went was the year before. They lost in the second round. They hadn't even been to a conference finals together
But
yet.
you also have to remember the Indiana run of like, who did they beat last year? They beat Boston on their way, right?
They beat New York.
Well, the New York game particularly, like the bounce in the game 1 that went a mile high and came straight down. Like, if you would have told me after that point, like Indiana's going to make the finals and they're going to be within Game 7 at OKC,
Yeah.
Halliburton, Achilles away, I would have been like, I don't know if I buy that.
You can't spend all season telling me the advanced metrics tell me that this OKC team is as good as the Kevin Durant Warriors or the Michael Jordan Bulls, and then not like. Those series were not competitive when they got to the NBA Finals.
No, the Bulls went up 3-0.
So, if you're telling me if the advanced metrics and analytics are telling you that this is one of the 3 greatest teams in the history of the NBA,
I think the Warriors beat the Cavs 2 straight years,
they
8-1.
smoked Cleveland.
I think they
in
won
the
in
NBA
5 in
Finals.
one season and then swept them in the other.
And the Jazz put up a fight for a game or two, and then Jordan hits a shot, and it's like there was never really a chance that they were going to lose that series. It didn't even go to 7.
Yeah.
So I hope I'm wrong, man. I hope Oklahoma City loses. I have a hard time seeing anybody other than them win the title right now.
I give the Knicks a puncher's chance, is what I would say.
I'll be rooting for the Knicks.
The Oklahoma City's probably going to go in and they're going to be like a minus 350 favorite. But I'll take the Nick value if it's like plus 150, plus 200 to win the series.
I mean, I'll bet on it because I lose a lot of money anyway, so why not? And I want to root for my bet in order to cash. I ain't gambling on the Thunder to win the finals. The odds aren't great, and then I don't even
but
feel
if you know
good
they're
about
going to
that.
win, you bet a decent amount.
It's like, what are their odds to win the championship right now? Minus 300, minus 250. It's got to be.
Oh, you think it's minus money?
Yes, for them to win the NBA title, I think it's minus money. Maybe I'm wrong there. If it's plus money, then I might have to do that. It's gonna make me feel dirty.
Look this up.
San Antonio looked vulnerable in game 1, and they might come back and win that series in 5 for all we know. They lost game 2 to Portland and then won the series in 5, so they blew a game at home.
It's minus 165.
Yeah, dude. Like, who's San Antonio next on the list?
Plus 425.
Yeah, what's New York right now?
Plus 750.
Yeah, those are. I mean,
that's a puncher's chance.
I hope you're right. NBA has had a fun run of surprising us and not having a back-to-back champion, and Indiana damn near pulled off a shocking upset last year.
I know it's about.
I hope you're right.
I know it's about matchups, but the Pistons being plus 1,800 and the Wolves being plus 4,000 is a crazy gap.
That is a massive number.
Get out of here with that.
That is a massive number.
I don't think Detroit can beat New York.
I think it's just the idea of Detroit being in the East and Minnesota's going to have to beat San Antonio and then Oklahoma City.
I get it's just funny
Detroit's
to see that
got to
difference.
survive James Harden and 47 turnovers tonight. Can they do it? I don't know.
We'll have to wait and find out. Yeah, we'll see, man. I don't know. We've had kind of a duddy second round.
I would say, yeah.
Even though Cleveland, Detroit got interesting, nobody cares.
It's been a pretty duddy first round or in NBA
first
playoffs.
round was great.
Was it great? Why was it great? We had 2 bad Game 7s.
We had 3 Game 7. See, having a bad Game 7 doesn't take away from the fact you got 3 of them.
How much of the Raptors-Cavs series did you watch?
Almost none till the end. When did RJ Barrett
So you
hit the
waited
shot?
until Game 6, so you got a good Game 6, and then Game 7 sucked.
You thought the first round was bad?
I did.
The first round's largely a snooze
I mean, it's
fest.
always bad. That's not an offensive thing.
We
I think
were in the
round
first round, first of all.
and
so,
our series sucked.
We were.
If you're a general NBA fan,
we
that series
should have
did
been up
nothing
3-1.
for you. Nothing for you.
If you're a general NBA fan, you're not wrong.
Nothing.
All right, fine.
Conference finals, I hope, are fun.
No, that's cool. You didn't like the first round.
No,
Get
I didn't.
out of here.
Second round kind
I'll
of
just
sucks
shut
too.
up now. Loaded second hour. We'll talk with Landon Tangwall. He'll join us at 7:27. And I'm going to kick off the second hour. I have some fun with audio I want to get to. One is a college basketball coach, and the other, Draymond Green calling out a legend. Quite the sight on television. We'll get to that hour number 2, Dirt and Sprague. 105.1, The Fan.
Sports Desk, a Sports Center update on the Fan Sports Network, 105.1 FM and 1080 AM.
This update brought to you by Reynolds Defense Firm. If you've been arrested for DUI, you need a team of attorneys that you can put your trust into. Call Reynolds Defense Firm today, online at reynoldsdefensefirm.com. First on the Fan, despite no Joel Embiid, the Sixers gave the Knicks a fight in Game 2, but Jalen Brunson and his 26 points helped New York pull away late for a 108-102 win and a 2-0 series lead. Karl Anthony Towns also with a nice game, 20 points, 10 rebounds, 7 assists. Out west, the Spurs destroyed the Timberwolves in Game 2, 133-95 to tie up the series 1-1. Victor Wembanyama with a double-double, 19 points, 15 rebounds. It was the largest playoff loss in Timberwolves history. Game 3 for both of those series coming up tomorrow. In the Stanley Cup playoffs, the Sabres beat the Canadiens in Game 1 of the second round, 4-2. And the Ducks took down the Golden Knights in Game 2, 3-1. That series now tied at a game apiece. In baseball, the Mariners beat the Braves 3-1 to take 2 out of 3 in that series. Brian Wu threw 6 scoreless innings with 9 strikeouts and allowed 1 hit. I'm Brandon Henson from the George McCoy at Warren Allen Sports Desk. Don't call your mom. Call George McCoy at warrenallen.com.
This is the Fan Sports Network.
Back in hour number 2, Dirt and Sprague here on 105.1 The Fan. The Fan Sports Network. Good morning. What we got going on here? Baseball?
Just watching baseball highlights.
Oh.
Yeah.
I cannot publicly comment at this time. Please respect my privacy. My Atlanta Braves lost yesterday due to a death in the family. So you won, but it's a no counties, Mariner fans. We were dealing with grief.
You guys were on bereavement leave yesterday. That was replacement players.
You were lucky.
You didn't even set in the full squad. They had to go to Turner's funeral.
Yeah, we had a pick-off on base.
Did you?
What I read about because I couldn't watch the games.
No, it's blacked out.
You know, I'm blacked out.
Yeah.
But I was reading. I was like, oh, Albies didn't get a hit. His hit streak's over. That's tough. And then I saw the quote. He's like, I couldn't battle through.
No.
Ted meant too much to him.
It tears in his eyes when he's at the plate. How do you expect a guy to swing a bat in that scenario?
I mean, come on, man. What are we doing here? You guys think he won that fair and square?
My team was tied 1-1 going into the 7th inning, and they made back-to-back errors and gave up a 3-run home run and lost. They're almost 10 games below 500 now, so we got that going for us.
It's so funny for the show's sake that my team's first series loss of this season is to that pile of garbage up north.
Yeah, you've been poking that bear.
Unbelievable.
You got to quit poking the bear.
I gambled on the Bear.
Yeah, you did.
I thought they would win the whole enchilada.
Then you jinxed him in the ALCS, and they blew it.
I didn't play in Game 7. I'm sorry.
It's all your fault. You gave up that home run.
I did. Join us June 23rd as Toyota presents the Fan Golf Classic out at Langdon Farms Golf Club. Foursomes are on sale now. You can choose between the morning or afternoon rounds.
Whoa.
Head to 1051thefan.com to click on the Fan Golf Classic logo for more info to sign up. We'll have Matt's Barbecue hanging out there, eating delicious brisket, and we'll all be hanging out the infamous Angels Envy Bourbon Par 3 6th hole. The Fan Golf Classic presented by Toyota is also brought to you by Vulcan Design and Construction, Henderson and Daughter Windows and Doors, George McCoy at Warren Allen Attorneys at Law, Battery Exchange, Maestro Dobel Tequila, your neighborhood restaurant group, Philbrook Law, 1-800-DIVORCE, Roto-Rooter, Illegal Mezcal, and Window Nation. Got some stuff to get through here in the first segment, a little long, and then we'll get to Landon Tangwall coming up here at the bottom of the hour.
Let's talk some football.
Very quickly before we pivot into football, I want to... So Draymond Green was filling in for Shaquille O'Neal on Inside the NBA.
He does this usually when his team's out. He jumps on the TNT set, or the ESPN now set, I should say, and he ruins it.
Well, what is abundantly clear is that they are trying, and he is trying, to set up his Charles Barkley post-career.
Yes.
He probably views himself as somebody that can be a better version of Charles Barkley. I think if you gave him truth serum, he'd say that.
He'd probably tell you he's one of the 10 greatest players in the history of the NBA. He's got all those rings, man, don't you know?
Well, he'd be a top 8 player if Steve Kerr wasn't his coach. I'll tell you that much right now.
If Steve Kerr unlocked him offensively, he'd be right there with LeBron and KD.
Yeah, not his decision or choice to unlock. It's Steve Kerr's who held the key to that.
He wouldn't
lock.
let him shoot. They wouldn't even run a play for him, man.
Well, eventually Inside the NBA, because Draymond is on there, not in the postseason, was talking about winning at an older age. And so Draymond Green, it's teed up. So it starts with Draymond, but it's teed up of like winning a championship at the ages of 37 and 38, let alone 41, see LeBron.
Very hard.
It's almost impossible, right? Unless you're a role guy that's latched on to a title winner.
Gary Payton in Miami.
There you go. That's a good example there. You're largely not going to do it. And Kenny Smith teased this up. Charles Barkley's given his thoughts, and they say, Draymond, winning at an old age, like, what's your goal?
I think the goal is just to not look like you in the Houston Rockets uniform.
Yeah.
Is ultimately the goal for us. Like, we don't want to.
What does that look like?
Did you see it?
I'm just asking.
I saw it. I mean, so, we're always going to try to compete. When you win championships, the goal will always be to try to reach that level. Can we get back to that level? Listen, to your point, Jimmy's going to miss a lot of next year. Moses is going to miss a lot of next year. That's $70 million. $75 million of a $160 million payroll. So it's going to be tough. But make no mistake about it, the goal will always be to compete at a championship standard level. Whether we win a championship or not, I think as you get older, you have to redefine what's success, right? Still the most sellouts in the NBA. Still the most national TV games in the NBA. And you just want to give yourself a chance. Success may not be for us at this point a championship, right? That's the way it goes. And so I think understanding what is success at this point is key for us. Knowing and understanding that it may not be realistic to win a championship, but can we continue to build to that so that once we leave this organization, it's still in a great space of where they have that pedigree and they can try to build on that like the work out.
Yeah. So right in front of Charles Barkley, he basically says not to be Charles Barkley on the Rockets, which Barkley doesn't say anything. He just said, yeah.
I'm surprised Barkley didn't lash out.
Well,
at that
I thought Barkley, Barkley's not somebody. I don't think he cowered down. I think Barkley was allowing him his time to explain himself.
Sure.
And then Kenny's like, "What does that look like?" And then his follow up, "We saw it. I saw it."
I mean, he was 6 years old when Barkley got to Houston.
Yeah, so no, you didn't see
He was 9 years old when Charles Barkley retired. Yeah. So you've seen highlights of it. You weren't watching the Houston Rockets closely when you were 7 years old. None of us were.
The year that Houston got to the West Finals, I believe they got swept by Utah.
Yes,
was
in 98.
The year they got Stockton's famous shot to walk off.
Yes.
I believe Barkley averaged that season 18 and 12.
He averaged...
And his career with Houston, he averaged 16, 12, and 4.
It would have been the 96-97 season? Or
yes.
Was that the year they got to the conference finals?
I think it was the 97.
He averaged 19 points and 13 and a half rebounds and 5 assists a game.
Even better.
Top 16 in MVP voting, and he was an all-star.
Yeah.
His 4 seasons in Houston,
he also
averaged
had a 33 rebound game against Phoenix in that season.
He averaged 16 and a half points as a Rocket, 12.2 rebounds, and 4 assists per game. Draymond's last 4 seasons are 8 points, 6 points, 6.5 rebounds, and 6 assists per game. Like he's a fraction of the player that Barkley ever was, let alone at the end of his career.
Well, but he's not. He has 4.
It's so stupid.
He has 4 rings, Dirt.
Yeah, and Eli Manning is better than Dan Marino. This was the reminder for me last night.
He has 2.
This was the reminder for me last night turning this on. It's just I hate this time of year for this reason.
What?
I love that show. I don't watch it a lot during the regular season. It was weird to be on ESPN this year. It didn't quite feel the same way.
It was an odd schedule.
There's no doubt about it.
It got watered down.
I hate that Draymond Green is invited on every postseason, that they're not on a deep postseason run.
Why? He did exactly what they wanted. We're talking about it in Portland, Oregon.
Yeah, I mean, that's what he wants. Sure, it's not entertaining for me. And if he's on, it's like an immediate click for me if he's on the halftime show. I'll watch hockey over that. And if it's a quad box, I'll turn off the quad box until I get the game back on. And then I'll turn the game back on. And it's just the reminder of, like, this dude's never going to leave our lives. And that's really depressing. He's not going to fade into the background. He's not going to go away quietly.
No, he's going to be on television until television ceases to exist.
He's going to be a podcast and a TV voice for the next 50 years, spewing moronic, stupid takes on every topic imaginable.
Completely change.
New media, player media. And all you spew is just the dumbest stuff I've ever heard in my entire life.
I love the new media thing, and then you don't really provide anything new and different than the media.
Steve Kerr held me back. Charles Barkley sucked in Houston. Like, you're a tenth of the player that Barkley ever was. I can't stand the guy this sucks, and I wish Barkley would have gone on him a little bit harder than that.
You know, if there ever
Your
was
title run's done, by the way. You're not doing squat in the next 3 years.
again,
You might be done there to begin with.
watch them get DeBonsa. It's just going to be unbelievable if they get lucky in the draft.
Even
lottery.
that, though, like, I mean, you're not. Can you ask a guy to come in right away and lead you over the top in
Do
that
you need
regard?
him to lead you if Jimmy Butler's healthy and Steph Curry's
When's
playing?
Jimmy Butler going to play, first off? How old is Jimmy Butler? Is Steph
Jimmy
Curry
Butler's
going to
old.
stay healthy? Draymond Green sucks in 90% of the game now.
Yeah.
Like, they were 10 games below 500
And
this
they
year.
have overrated Pajemski.
The only reason that they were in the playoffs was because we saw a historic race to the bottom of the Western Conference. That's the only, not playoffs, but play-in.
Well,
That's the only reason they were the 10 seed.
Yeah, I mean, look, Draymond's just going to be a lightning rod. That's what his media career is
Yes.
going to be.
That's what he does.
I think the thing that I don't like, and look, Barkley does things that rub me the wrong way as a basketball fan. I love and appreciate his humor, how he's willing to speak out on anything, whether that's basketball or non-basketball. I love and will always appreciate what that show has been in my life.
Yeah.
I also, the back end of the life of this show has been largely basketball sucks, and we're the entire face of the sport show-wise.
Yeah.
And that's tough for me because I watch these games and I'm like, I have a buddy that's like been texting about the Minnesota Timberwolves. I haven't watched the NBA in 4 years. This is awesome. And I'm like, dude,
Last night wasn't awesome, but
no,
the
I
playoffs
know,
so far
but
for them has
he'd
been awesome.
you know,
Yeah.
texting game one and the first round series, and I'm like,
Right.
this has kind of been what the NBA's been for a minute, but because of what all the narratives become through the media of trades and tanking and, whatever, the basketball part of it is completely lost. I mean, the thing with the sport that's interesting is how it is covered and talked about, and I know we've discussed that before on the show.
Yeah.
But as an example, as an aside, with everything that happened in the sports world yesterday, you had the hockey, you had the Stanley Cup playoffs, right? The Chicago Cubs and Major League Baseball, Chicago Cubs have 3 straight walk-off wins. Major League Baseball's having
like
a good
8
start.
in a row, 9 in a row, something like that. Yeah.
Right. You had the NBA playoffs, and they were a little dudsy, but you had the NBA playoffs. You had all of that. And ESPN this morning does an entire segment of their morning television show on the anniversary of Michael Jordan hitting a game-winning first-round basketball shot.
Craig Elo, man.
In 1988? 87?
80, yeah, one of those years.
That's the problem with the sport. It always has to go back to what it was in the 80s and 90s.
Yeah.
It's never just a sole look. Like, how often do the NFL, in real time during the season, does the NFL...
Oh, you never think about flashbacks.
dedicate a segment to something that happened in 1991?
Never. Never. Unless somebody breaks a record that happened then or
Right.
some random circumstance. It never happens.
Right.
Not
They
even
don't do that in
baseball has that.
baseball.
No.
Does hockey do that?
I mean, to be fair, they don't really talk any baseball on national network
That's fine,
channels,
yes.
and neither does hockey.
No, I totally get
and
it.
hockey does not get talked about either. But
hockey
no,
doesn't
they
do
don't
it.
do that. They don't turn the clock back.
But
that way.
every single season, every year, ESPN has to do a segment
Well, they peaked in high school,
where
man.
they show us what happened in 1993, as
Back in my
if that
prime.
wasn't 30-plus years ago.
That was that long ago? Is that what you're telling me?
It's just crazy to me how that
Not
whole
old.
sport has evolved from a media landscape. But you're right. Draymond is going largely
I get
nowhere.
I get the point that you're making about the show, and they certainly have not been the biggest supporters of modern basketball. So maybe that's the angle of Draymond.
I still laugh.
is
I still find
fighting
it
against
entertaining. But
Yeah.
when they talk ball, like, I love when people latch on to something Barkley says about our team. I'll use this as an example. If he says anything remotely complimentary, it's
it goes
every
viral.
Blazer fan in their shadow social media account.
You see what Barkley said?
Barkley likes us. Barkley picked us.
And I'm like, did you also see him at halftime of Game 3 or Game 4 literally say out loud, Denny, what's his name? Doesn't even know Denny Avdia's name.
No, he has no clue.
He was an all-star. He might make All-NBA.
He has no clue.
He averaged, 24, 7, and 6? Like,
Sure.
had a great year. And he's like, what's his name? Like, they're literally learning about the teams as they watch him in the playoffs. That's
Yeah.
my only gripe with the show. I have always found the show entertaining.
There's no doubt about it. I think it's mainly just for me a larger gripe about Draymond and his place in the sports lexicon of nobody doubts that he was an impactful player for them in their championship teams. He's a great defender. He is also the definition of a guy that if he was drafted to the Sacramento Kings, he's a feisty guy who's getting kicked out of games and doesn't have a legacy to speak of whatsoever.
Maybe a more respected Dylan Brooks.
Yes, that's a
kind
great
of a
way.
guy who ventures to a couple
Why is
teams.
he getting tossed out of Sacramento all the time? Like,
But he's
okay,
all
now
NBA
he's on
defense,
yes.
and he's a
good
good
defender.
player. Yeah.
He's a good defender. Nobody
Yeah.
doubts that.
Right.
He had an impact. I get it, but like, dude, you are the
Averaged 8 and 6.
You were the biggest
crazy.
goat writer in NBA history.
That's crazy.
And now you're going to parlay it into a 50-year media career that Teddy Ballgame's going to have to watch this guy spew nonsense 10 years from now. That doesn't make me happy.
Who is the NFL equivalent to Barkley?
To Barkley?
Is it Greg Jennings? Aaron Rodgers was your quarterback, dude.
Oh, you mean to Draymond Green?
Oh, to Draymond Green. Did I say Barkley? Sorry, I meant Draymond. Just like somebody that was like, yeah, you were a good player. You weren't like amazing, but like also the place you were at with who you were with kind of made you.
That's a really good question. I think
it's Greg Jennings.
Greg Jennings is a good
I don't
poll.
hate Greg Jennings. He doesn't really say anything that bothers me when I see him.
But if he did, if he was crowing like I'm Michael Irvin and Terrell Owens and Jerry Rice and Randy Moss, you'd be like, dude, sit down, Greg Jennings.
Yeah.
Who do you think you are? Aaron Rodgers held me back in Green Bay. Really?
You know what I love? Michael Irvin did an interview. He did a podcast with Vernon Maxwell.
Mm-hmm.
And he had a really funny. They were asking about GOAT. Oh, is all the up in all the smoke pod? And Barnes asked. They've been asking all their guests who's the GOAT, right? And then like, oh, how do you rank Kobe, MJ, LeBron? And all these people are giving their definitions. And Irvin was basically saying in a roundabout way they're both GOATs. They're just both GOATs in different ways. Like he thinks Michael's the GOAT basketball player,
okay,
but LeBron's career and the way he's changed the game is also GOAT worthy.
That's a good way to spin
However
it.
you want to use, I don't care. But it was funny because he was talking about GOATs and how uncomfortable people are giving up that title. And he goes, I've always said Jerry Rice is the GOAT. He's up here. He's right here. Because he was talking about Daniel Cormier hating John Jones.
Okay.
And how John Jones is the GOAT, but Daniel Cormier will never say it out loud because that's his arch rival.
Yeah, I won't acknowledge him.
And Irvin told Daniel Cormier, hey, Daniel, you can say he's the GOAT. And as soon as you're done with that S, then there's a D because you're right there. I always tell people Jerry Rice is the GOAT, but right after that E, there's an M. And that's me, Michael Irvin.
The playmaker, baby.
And I'm like, that's a good way to view it, I guess. Give somebody their flowers while saying I was also utterly amazing.
Yeah, somebody like the Gronk one's coming in. I disagree with that.
Gronk he's the best tight end of all time.
From a physically
he's the best tight end of all time.
Yes.
That's the best tight end I've ever seen play.
He would have gotten numbers wherever he went.
And I saw Tony Gonzalez's career, like start to finish. Gronk is the best tight end I've ever seen play.
Ryan Clark, I don't know if he's from a media standpoint, that's a great pull because Ryan Clark has done a lot in the last 2 years. I feel like he's apologizing every other month for a take that he has. Like I want to come out and say I'm sorry. Like, he's getting into race stuff, and it's he rubs people the wrong way.
Ryan Clark's a better one than Jennings because Ryan Clark was a really good NFL player, but he wasn't like spectacular.
No, he's a good player.
But he also helps that he was a Pittsburgh Steeler.
Yes, he played for that organization at a time in which that organization was winning a lot of games.
Ryan
and going
Clark's
on
a great pull.
runs.
That's a good one by the listeners.
Like Draymond Green, you were a part of it. Nobody doubts that. You ain't the reason. You ain't the first reason, the second reason, or the third reason.
Oh, who's the third reason?
Iguodala? Kevin Durant?
Oh, well, I mean.
They have half of their championships they won was because the greatest player in the league at the time joined their team.
You're not wrong.
They had 2 without him and 2 with him. So that's half of your championships. If you're going to sit up there and spout 4 rings, then you're the 4th best player because 2 of those rings you weren't in the top 3.
Mm. Yeah.
They won Kevin Durant, Steph Curry, Klay Thompson.
Fair.
And in one of the finals, they won Andre Iguodala was the finals MVP, so he might even have been 5th fiddle.
That's very fair to say by you. I totally overlooked the KD part of that.
Yeah, remember that? Remember that when he joined them after losing to them in the conference finals?
But in the way that they talked about San Antonio.
Didn't lose a game for 4 years.
You will see Klay Thompson, fat, maybe not fat, I don't know, Steph Curry, and then Draymond back at Warriors games in 15 years.
That you are not wrong
You
about.
won't see Kevin Durant.
That you are not wrong about.
He'll get his flowers when they do an anniversary thing. But
they'll do a tour or something.
He's not going to be hanging around Golden State.
He's not a statue guy. He's not going to have his number retired. It won't be to that level.
Very quickly,
yeah,
because we won't have time to get to it. Got to get to Landon Tangwall. Have you seen what Mark Pope is doing in Kentucky?
Other than being despised by his fan base, I have not.
So he is despised by his fan base. They are whiffing in the portal big time, and he's on the hot seat.
Yes, 1 year in.
He's basically turned to doing videos of himself reading questions and take a This is what it looks like and sounds like with Mark Pope.
Is Kentucky being used by players to leverage for more NIL? Yes. We're the biggest brand in basketball. Next question from @HighSchoolTopRecruiting. What changes are being made to recruiting? You have to see a problem with 14 top 20 kids visiting and landing none. What's the change? Well, the first change, I'd like to get all 20 kids to visit our campus. That's a major win and there's no limit. Second, I'd like to land a few. Third, this year we were chasing a generational talent and we fell a little short, but we weren't sitting on our hands. We put together a roster that we are going to love watching crush
Kentucky.
it in
We
Rupp
tried.
Arena. Next question from @FeltnerKev 32715. Another concern I have is we are not addressing the 5 spot. Also, Moreno is on the precipice of the first round. Malachi Moreno was the #1 priority for us going into this portal season. We think that he's going to be the best center in all of college basketball next year here at Kentucky.
Dude,
buddy,
it's
you
gone
are
so
fired
bad for
in
him.
3, 2,
He's doing
1.
Q&As from Twitter on video, and it's like, why do you suck? Great question, John 44882231. We don't suck. We're just saying we're working to be better. What are you doing? What other coaches are doing this?
Like he's
nobody.
setting up his own debate.
I really,
ad
it's
campaigns.
really
It's funny you asked that. Let me answer the
Make him
question.
look better.
Frosty the Snowman 6969 asking, Coach, why do you flame out so early in the NCAA tournament? Great question, Frosty. Let me tell you,
His only-
we can't get talent.
Tournament win was a miracle, dude. It was a half-court shot. Sent the game to overtime.
Yikes, dude.
He's going to get fired. That's one
Well,
that
yeah, they don't make like the Elite
they
Eight
were
next
headed
year.
for
I
a
think it's over.
divorce. Calipari in Kentucky had kind of run its course, but seeing Calipari go on a tournament run now back-to-back years,
He's made Arkansas.
get a cuff, like
Yes.
immediately Arkansas has become a better program than
Yep.
you. Overnight that has happened.
Yes, no doubt about it. All right. Landon Tangwall covers college football at large. He's broken the tape down. We'll talk to him about the expansion of the college football playoff and how the Big Ten has succeeded versus the SEC in college football. Landon Tangwall next on 105.1 The Fan.
Center update on the Fan Sports Network, 105.1 FM and 1080 AM.
First on the Fan, despite no Joel Embiid, the Sixers gave the Knicks a fight in Game 2, but Jalen Brunson and his 26 points helped New York pull away late for a 108-102 win and a 2-0 series lead. Karl Anthony Towns also with a nice game, 20 points, 10 rebounds, 7 assists. Out west, the Spurs destroyed the Timberwolves in Game 2, 133-95 to tie up that series 1-1. Victor Wembanyama with a double-double, 19 points, 15 rebounds. It was the largest playoff loss in Timberwolves history. Game 3 for both of those series coming up tomorrow. In the Stanley Cup playoffs, the Sabres beat the Canadiens in Game 1 of the second round, 4-2. The Ducks took down the Golden Knights in Game 2, 3-1. That series now tied at a game apiece. And in baseball, the Mariners beat the Braves 3-1 to take 2 out of 3 in that series. Brian Wu, 6 scoreless innings with 9 strikeouts and allowed 1 hit. I'm Brandon Henson from the George McCoy at Warren Allen Sports Desk. Don't call your mom. Call George McCoy at warrenallen.com.
This is the Fan Sports Network.
We got some college football to discuss. Welcome back in. Dirt and Sprague here, 105.1 The Fan and the Fan Sports Network, the Odyssey app, 1080 AM, and YouTube. Fan text lines 503-864-6326. A lot more to discuss today, but we thought it'd be a lot of fun. Spring football wrapped up last weekend.
Yes, it did.
You are a sicko for it.
I watched.
You watched other teams' spring games.
I did.
I just watch it from afar and say, oh, that happened. Okay, cool. We'll get to fall camp, and I'll get more jacked for
That's
it.
why this guy's right up my alley, man. You're doing film breakdowns for spring games. You're hitting me where I need it.
He's a psycho, to say the least. That's former offensive lineman for Penn State, good friend of the program, and national college football analyst Landon Tangwall. You can find him on Twitter at Landon Tangwall. Find the show on YouTube as well. Good morning, Landon. Thanks for hopping on with us. You are indeed a sicko breaking down spring ball tape. What is wrong with you?
Gentlemen, good morning. Yeah, I definitely have an issue. It's not only just breaking down the whole game. I go individual players.
Yeah.
I'm probably going to do a couple more. I got a film problem, but there was too much good on the field not to do it. I did indeed watch a lot of spring games too, and some of them it feels like you don't get a whole lot. And I actually felt like there was a good amount to learn about this Oregon roster this coming season, and you saw some young guys really pop off too.
So I love this. By the way, this guy on his YouTube channel, he's got depth chart breakdowns.
Oh, it's amazing. It's amazing.
We're doing film breakdowns for freshman offensive linemen. It's glorious. Like if you're a sicko, absolutely glorious content. Let me ask you, and I'll even look. Let's bring Bloods and Crips together here for a moment. You did 2 different features for true freshman running backs, offensive linemen out of their spring games. One at Washington and one at Oregon. And I'm curious, were these guys on your radar going in? And then let Husky and Duck fans know kind of what you saw from guys who might end up being impact players right out of the gate for their programs next fall.
Yeah, so you got 2 true freshmen. One that was obviously committed to Oregon at one time. That's at Washington now, Cody Green. And so he's slotted to likely start at them for left tackle. Had a really, really good spring game. And the biggest thing you see nowadays, and I think we've even talked about this, is the development of offensive linemen has really went down, and coaches are looking for these quality guys. And you get 2 big-time players in Tommy Tophey for Oregon and Cody Green for Washington. So I wanted to dive into their tape. And trust me, I know what it was like to early enroll at a school and go into spring ball and just get your butt kicked every single day. So I watch these guys that are here like pancaking dudes. They're just planting like 3rd, 4th year player defensive ends in the dirt. And I'm like, yeah, like this means you're going to be a big time offensive lineman. So I see both of these young guys that it just, should still be going to prom right now are already just mauling guys in college football. So it's cool. I'm a big trenches guy, so I love breaking down O-line and D-line, and they both got a special one there. And then Oregon even has some more, talent coming in this summer. You got a 5-star offensive lineman that's coming in this summer that's not even on campus yet, too.
Yeah. Landon Tangwall, our guest here, he's actually just about 14 hours ago posted his Oregon Duck post-spring depth chart preview that you can find on YouTube. Okay, so what are your takeaways? It's spring ball, right? We still have a lot of time before we get to fall ball, and then you get into the games. You start learning about teams, I think, more as the season goes on. But in looking at kind of the depth chart and seeing what you saw in spring, we've got 2 new coordinators here in Eugene. I'm curious, Dan Lanning coming off a very bad playoff loss to Indiana. What did you notice, or what sticks out to you about Oregon's team from spring going into fall camp?
Yeah, I think naturally when you do watch a spring game, you're not going to find a whole ton out about like the schemes, and the coaches aren't going to get too deep to it, especially if it is on TV. But you see certain players. So, I mean, for one, Evan Stewart, who has been injured for a while at wide receiver, and everybody remembers how explosive and dynamic this guy is. And it was kind of just a question of whenever someone's out for almost well over a year, like you start to ask questions of can they get back to that same physicality and the ability to go up and track footballs and trust your body and still have that speed. And it looked like Evan Stewart has all of those things. The route running looked really crisp, had a really, really big day out there. So I think that's a really big plus. You already know what you have in Decorian Moore at wide receiver. You know, had a really nice play to end there, the spring game. And really the biggest thing was that he was really popped on the scene early and then just dealt with some injuries. So I feel like this is a name that people obviously know about him, but I feel like he's really going to pop on the scene this year in college football and going to be a household name. And then the other big question was like, look, you get your entire defensive line returning. It's such a veteran group, those starters. There's a ton of guys that you trust that are going to play dang good football. But the biggest question is, you lost some interior defensive linemen. You lose one to Notre Dame. You lose one to Alabama. And it was kind of like, hey, Oregon's a defense that they do rotate a decent amount on that defensive line. So it was kind of like, who are these guys behind them? And they didn't really do too much in the portal with that. And then out of nowhere, Aiden Breland has like 2.5 sacks in the spring game, defensive tackle. That's really starting to come on going into year 3 here. And then the big one was Matthew Johnson, defensive tackle, young guy going into year 2. And it's just like, it seems like the light kind of flicked on for these guys. And I think that was really, really big because Oregon's big on being able to switch out those guys and get fresh bodies in there. And you kind of already know you had some talent depth on the edge and Elijah Rushing, and then Nasir Wyatt, who had some really, really nice pass rushes throughout the college football playoffs. So you feel like, once again, this is a defense. You obviously know what you have on the back end. Brandon Finney Jr., probably one of the best cornerbacks in America as a true sophomore this coming year. Ife Obadegwu is someone that's been playing some really high-level football. So I think naturally you still say, hey, can the linebackers on defense, play at a high level? Because that's kind of been the question over the past couple of years. You get Jerry Mixon obviously coming back, who was really playing some good football for you last year when he started to play, and then Devin Jackson, it was on and off. But I think both guys, showed good spring ball. So the defense really isn't the question for me. I think one of the bigger things is the offensive line. I think that's the one of the bigger worries, and you have some turnover there. You got some young guys. Especially the big takeaway, if you didn't watch the spring game, there was 10 sacks technically given up. Number one, a lot of those sacks, they would blow it dead if the defensive lineman got anywhere near the quarterback. So there was no really true chance to elude any tackles. They just blew it down. So I think there's a couple more sacks added on than there really would have been, especially with how your quarterbacks move around. But you got to, I think the biggest question, it's not a talent question for the Oregon offensive line, because as I watch across the board in the spring game, I see unbelievable movement. These guys with great technique. Aleek Terry, the offensive line coach, clearly does a great job in getting these guys to understand what he wants from them. It's more just the gelling of offensive line is, people talk about quarterback and wide receiver being on the same page. You need that tenfold with the offensive line, because all 5 guys have to be on the same page. If 4 guys have a great block and 1 guy messes up, it could still be an awful play. So I think that's the biggest thing you're going to see with a decent amount of turnover on this offensive line, is how are they gelling? How are they communicating with each other? But overall, it's not too much of a concern of mine of this offensive line having poor offensive line play on this Oregon offense.
Yeah, it's a phenomenal breakdown of the spring game. I'm having a blast right now. You guys having fun? This is glorious.
That's more than you gave me.
Well, you wouldn't let me give the time. You didn't ask me the questions, man. I watched the game.
We got a better breakdown film watcher there.
Let me ask you this, though. So I'm curious, when you look at the Big Ten next year, it feels like everybody going into the year will be, Indiana national champion, obviously, Ohio State is Ohio State, and Oregon returning all the pieces of returning. That's kind of your big 3 at the top, and then maybe a next group of teams. I'm wondering if you see it that way, and as you've kind of perused through other spring games, you mentioned some highlights from Washington, USC with big expectations, Michigan to change a head coach. Do you buy stock in one of those teams in the next tier to either be in that or make that jump up this year? How do you kind of view the pecking order at the top of the Big Ten?
Yeah, I think it's very clear right now, especially after what happened with Penn State, that it is just those three sitting atop. Because you look across the board and you get flashes of these, Washingtons, of these, Maryland will come on the scene for a little bit every year and then just completely fall off. It feels like, the whole Penn State fiasco. I think as much as Penn State has a very easy schedule, they don't play any of those top three teams that you mentioned. So they might have a decent path this year, but I still think there's a decent rebuild there for Matt Campbell in Happy Valley. I would not bet on anybody in the field within the next year. I think, too, you look at Michigan and you have a lot of positive after everything that happened. But like Bryce Underwood, I watched their spring game. It's at the point where they had a true freshman named Tommy Carr that came in. He was originally committed, I think, like Miami of Ohio. And he comes in and he outplays Bryce Underwood in the spring game significantly. And the biggest worry is that it's all the same things, all the same problems continue to pop up for Bryce Underwood, just poor mechanics, and he's just always trying to fire missiles in there. And it was not very good at all. I think he completed like 3 or 4 out of his 12 passes. So you almost have this big question in Ann Arbor about what's that going to be. Is Whittingham going to be able to develop him? And I think if you can't truly develop a quarterback like that, with you're paying $10 million plus, you got problems there. So overall, I look around and I don't really know if there's too much of a challenge to Indiana, Oregon, and Ohio State. I feel like they're comfortably sitting at the top for the foreseeable next couple of years.
Are you in or out on a 24-team playoff? Because it feels like it's going to happen, whether we like it or not. Where are you at on it?
I'm so out. So out. It's so disappointing. It feels like it's going to ruin a lot of things. I think rivalry weekend at the end of the year, there's going to be so many teams where you really feel like, all right, do we sit some of our guys? Because I think that becomes a reality when you're sitting at 24 teams. You go back and you look at some of these teams over the years since the college football playoff era started, and you look at teams that would be 23rd, 24th. You're looking at like 4 or 5 lost teams even some years that are ranked 23rd, 24th at the end of the year. And it's like we're inviting that into the playoffs, and so it really does become a bit of a mockery. But I think the coaches, they want it, because if I'm a coach, it sounds a lot better to say that I was in the playoffs last year than I was coaching in the ReliaQuest Bowl. I was down in the Honolulu Bowl. So like I think that's why the coaches are all behind it. So I don't know. I think it's bad. The TV will obviously like it. I do wonder how it's going to affect. I mean, I think we're going to see changes. I could see more cutting of the out-of-conference schedule in those early games. I mean, as these players are demanding more money, because this is a big reason why it happened. The players need to get paid more money, and everybody's trying to keep up. And so we need more TV revenue. You need all of it. And so you want bigger games. So I think that is, the one thing. Yes, there's maybe technically more high-stake games. Still think there'll be a decent amount of blowouts in those games. But I would also be on the lookout for maybe the early season to change. There's talks of you're going to have to kind of figure some stuff out and move some games up, because they want to be done no later than the second week in January. And you're going to have to do that, because you start to deal with people enrolling in classes, and that starts mid to early, mid, depending if you're trimester. It's so it's a whole headache. But it all comes down to really the money problem, and I think that is ultimately why it's happening.
Well, the good news is the Pop-Tart Bowl now is going to be a playoff game, and I, for one, need to kill a Pop-Tart and see an Eaton with a playoff advancement happening between the two teams. That's the good news out of it. Great stuff. You know what? Next time we get you on, we'll get you on for one of our more lengthier segments, because I had more questions, so follow-up. So let's hold that. And then we'll get you on down the road. Landon Tangwall, our guest here. You can find his show on YouTube. He's got the Oregon Duck Breakdown. He is great. He's a ball knower. He breaks everything down and makes it way easier for all the simpletons out there like myself. Thank you so much for hopping on with us, Landon. We appreciate it, and let's catch up with you soon.
Yes, sir. Thank you, gentlemen. Have a great day.
All right, there we go. Good stuff from Landon Tangwall, the breakdown of your Oregon Ducks in spring football.
It was an accurate breakdown, man. Everything he said was spot on from the spring game.
That's a guy that you can tell actually watches other teams and doesn't just
If you're referencing third and fourth depth pieces on the defensive line, you know what you're talking about.
Yeah, exactly.
Not just, they're going to be good. They got their starters back.
Does Kirk Herbstreit know who Elijah Rushing is? I don't know.
I don't
know if he does, but I
don't think he does.
Landon Tangwall does. Good stuff from him. Maybe a little follow-up, but also we have breaking news in the National Football League. Let's get to that coming up next on 105.1 The Fan. A lot to get into that we haven't even touched on yet today. One of the things, it's a Magic Hat Thursday, by the way. So we get to the Magic Hat coming up in the final hour of the radio program. We had breaking news like a minute before Landon hopped on. Did you see it?
Your guy.
My guy.
Your guy is back, baby.
This
is the year.
Old ass Aaron Rodgers. Basically telling the Steelers, the hell you will move on from me.
I'm playing again.
Drew Aller, no. Will Howard, no way.
You step to the side, young
Mason
boys.
Rudolph could never. Aaron Rodgers, one last go-around with the Steelers. If I was a Steelers fan, I'd just be screaming into the void at this point.
Yeah, I just what is the point? I don't understand it.
What is that team going to be?
I don't get it.
Mike McCarthy, I think, deserves a little more respect. When he was a Cowboy coach, coincidentally, we debated, why do we not look at Mike McCarthy the way we look at Mike Tomlin?
Yeah, you brought that up. The numbers are
the
very
record's like
similar.
identical. They both have the one Super Bowl, and it's just like
it was a long time ago.
Yeah.
They're living off of that success.
Yes, but one we viewed as kind of a joke, and I think part of that was McCarthy was like, I studied a lot of tape, and then he came out, I didn't study any tape. He totally lied to get the job, but he ended up having a nice little run with the Cowboys. They didn't win the Super Bowl, but dude, they were a good team.
I don't think they won a playoff game, did they? Did they win a playoff game? Who cares? Yeah,
they were good.
They won 12 games every year and lost in the playoffs.
Yes, exactly.
They were the Cowboys.
Yeah,
they've always been that.
Yeah,
my whole life.
My point was just to simply say, all right, but then they fired Tomlin for Mike McCarthy.
Made it funny,
and people were like, "Wait, what? You're hiring the same coach, just white?"
Yeah,
and he's more offensive based than defensive based. So I have a lot of questions about the Steelers. My only stuff on the Steelers lately feels like it's been me trashing the organization that I think has been one of the best run organizations in sports history, but their refusal to care about the quarterback position anytime in the last whatever many years it's been since Roethlisberger left.
Hey, speak for yourself, man. They used a third-round pick on Drew Aller, didn't they? Didn't he go in the third round?
Yeah, third-round pick, yeah. Will Howard's there, don't you know? But Aaron Rodgers now, people were wondering on the internet, is he going to be a Cardinal? And people in Arizona were like, no, I don't know where this came from.
We don't want him.
He's going to fly in this weekend, and he's told the team, I'm coming in this weekend, and I'm signing that one-year contract.
Let's get that deal done,
So get ready for the victory goodbye tour of Aaron Rodgers this year.
For the love of God, can this please be it? Can we just put an end to this thing? There's a level of appreciating greatness, which he certainly is one of the greatest quarterbacks of all time from a talent standpoint. Also, dude, enough is enough.
I'm super bummed, actually.
I would prefer, if I were a Steeler fan, I'd be livid right now because it felt like the Tomlin thing. The jokes about McCarthy are spot on. It's a fresh start with hiring the same coach almost, but he is a Yinzer himself. He's a Pittsburgh guy, though, don't you know? He grew up around the Steambills, right?
His press conference was actually pretty good.
It's a homecoming for him. There's definitely that angle to it.
Mm-hmm.
It signals to me of all right, let's have a fresh start to this entire thing, and bringing back Aaron Rodgers accomplishes nothing. He'll have a moment. He'll have a play. He can't be an elite quarterback for 17 weeks anymore. He's not going to carry you. He's not going to win you playoff games. Can he be elite at all
anymore is the question. I think he could be fine.
They're not good enough around him to carry him to those levels. And it's just wouldn't you rather just roll the dice with one of your – I'm not saying start Drew Aller right away. He's a third-round pick, and he was barely ready to start at Penn State at times, it felt like. But they said good things about Howard behind the scenes last year. Just throw him out there. See what you got.
I know.
And the worst thing that can happen is what? He sucks. What's next year? It's a great quarterback class.
Draft.
At least as of now, we're saying on paper, next year's class is deep. So if it doesn't pan out for you, throw the rookies out there, see if the Wolves eat them. And if they do, then great. You go draft a quarterback next year. What are you accomplishing bringing Aaron Rodgers in for another season? It makes no sense.
I don't know, but also he had nowhere else to go.
I don't care.
No, I know.
Let him retire. Walk away.
Wow.
Hang him up, buddy. Go be a backup somewhere if you want. I don't care.
I think he's
it's
a
not
guy.
my responsibility as a Steeler organization.
He would probably deny this if ever asked. I think if we're being honest, don't you view him as a guy that wants his goodbye, even though he'll begrudgingly get it?
He doesn't want anything to do with the media, man.
I don't want fame. I'm not after that.
He doesn't want attention.
I'm after the truth and the light.
I don't say anything controversial.
My made-up wife.
Easy.
We're going to see her this weekend?
Easy. She doesn't like being in the limelight, Brandon. Don't be a jerk. Okay?
If it comes
she didn't sign up for this life.
If it comes out in 4 years that people close to him admit they never met her one time and saw her, we need to have a conversation. That needs to be a segment. A made-up wife would be wild. I don't believe he actually is making her up.
No,
but I'm
I don't
also
think so.
kind of like wondering, why has nobody ever talked about her?
She doesn't like being in the limelight.
I've never
Sprague.
even seen her.
He did an interview on McAfee, and he was very defensive about this.
Yeah, I know he was.
She did not sign up for this life.
You know who didn't pop up in
She
the
did
video the
not
way Devontae Adams did?
Sign up for the paparazzi. She doesn't want this. Okay?
Yeah, okay.
She wants to be in the background, and
Sure.
we're going to respect her wishes.
Okay.
Okay.
I
That's
will
what we're gonna
respect
do.
the wishes and not talk
For
about
AR-12, we're going to respect. Or AR-8 now? Is he 8 in Pittsburgh? Right? 8?
8.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I digress.
Well, anyways, he's got to be a Pittsburgh Steeler again.
Yay! They're going to win 8 games.
If
and
we were
probably
doing
be a wild card.
If we were doing a show in Pittsburgh, I'm already like feeling uneasy, but at least the idea of Will Howard or Aller and seeing what it is and saying, okay, well, if it's nothing, the draft. Because they have not cared about that since Roethlisberger.
No.
And what year was that? 04?
They took 2 gloves in the first round,
Nobody
which everybody's
cared
like,
about
what
that.
have we done?
Dude,
What?
nobody wanted
What?
that.
That's a first-round pick?
But
Because of a fake slide in a bowl game?
if I'm hosting right now in Pittsburgh and that news breaks, I'm coming back and talking about how we're going to have an entire calendar year of our lives wasted on an absolute nothing situation going nowhere. Because this is what's going to happen. It's one thing to play Aller or Howard and be bad and have the idea of a prospect.
Or maybe they show flashes and you're bad, but even then you're like, all right, you could sell me on the future there.
It's another to go, Rodgers, win 8-9 games, maybe make the wild card or have the worst
Smoked.
possible pick of the first round choices.
Yeah.
And that's what they're lining up
Remember that
for.
playoff game against Houston?
It's crazy.
I think Houston's defense had more touchdowns than their offense in the game.
They did.
They completely
And they won like
dominated.
33-7 or something. I didn't remember what the score was.
I
It was a
thought that was going to
blowout.
be enough of like, all right, dude, I'm tapping out. I don't want to do this anymore. Yay!
Loaded third hour. Aaron Rodgers back in Pittsburgh. We got a mail sack to get to in the fourth hour, but hour number 3 is next. Dirt and Sprague on Portland Sports Leader 105.1, The Fan.
McCoy and Warren Allen Sports Desk, a Sports Center update on the Fan Sports Network, 105.1 FM and 1080 AM.
First on the Fan, despite no Joel Embiid, the Sixers gave the Knicks a competitive Game 2, but Jalen Brunson and his 26 points helped New York pull away late for a 108-102 win and a 2-0 series lead. Karl Anthony Towns also with a nice game, 20 points, 10 rebounds, 7 assists. Out west, the Spurs destroyed the Timberwolves in Game 2, 133-95 to tie up the series 1-1. Victor Wembanyama with a double-double, 19 points, 15 rebounds. It was the largest playoff loss in Timberwolves history. Both Game 3s coming up tomorrow. In the Stanley Cup playoffs, the Sabres beat the Canadiens in Game 1 of the second round, 4-2. The Ducks took down the Golden Knights in Game 2, 3-1. That series now tied at a game apiece. In the NFL, Ian Rappaport reporting Aaron Rodgers will likely play for the Steelers this upcoming season. A deal has not been done, but he is expected to visit the Steelers this weekend. And in baseball, the Mariners beat the Braves 3-1 to take 2 out of 3 in that series. Brian Wu, 6 scoreless innings with 9 strikeouts and allowed 1 hit. I'm Brandon Henson from the George McCoy at Warren Allen Sports Desk. Don't call your mom. Call George McCoy at warrenallen.com.
This is the Fan Sports Network.
Whatever on the ring, whatever you need me to do, it don't matter.
Hey, welcome back in. Hour number 3, Dirt and Sprague here. Portland sports leader, 105.1 FM, The Fan, 1080 AM, the Odyssey app, live on YouTube. Good morning, everybody. Hope your Thursdays are off to a great start. We got the Magic Hat coming up an hour from now. Just stumbled across some audio that we'll have to play for the Magic Hat. The old doucher's been in the news lately. Old doucher Bryson. You don't give me a sweetheart deal, I'll go play my YouTube golf, all right? That'll keep me in check for the majors.
I mean, look,
why don't you try and break 50 with the President of the United States? Tell me that doesn't get you ready to go play an Open Championship.
Hey, guys, Bryson here. I'm going to hit a ball over my house. But he'll get more viewers on those YouTube videos than Liv did. That's what's funny.
That is for
He'll
certain.
get like 1 million views on those videos. Liv Golf was getting like 30,000.
Yeah, it's one of those in my hip pocket that I could rant about for 45 minutes, but I won't because I know it'll bore people and it is golf. So I won't make you go through that. Jordan chimed in. I enjoyed this, 503-864-6326. We were talking about Rodgers in the last segment.
Yeah.
So I was at the draft. They had Will Howard in a booth signing autographs. Then they drafted Drew Aller in the 3rd round, and now they do this. Let's put our quarterback of the future out there. Here's Will Howard. Come on to, and maybe not, and definitely not.
Look, my team certainly is not perfect. Almost no team is.
No,
I think fans should always call out their teams when they do stupid stuff or stuff that pisses them off.
Yeah.
How that fan base is not rioting about what's happened the last 3 or 4 years. And I take it back further than that, but really the last 2, 3, 4 years is a window of like, what?
You're in NFL purgatory.
You're Pittsburgh.
You
what
were
are you
in
doing?
NFL. Like somebody texted in, they won the division. Like that's awesome.
That division
sucked
last year.
Lamar Jackson missed half the year. Cincinnati plays worse defense than high school football teams in the PIL.
And Cleveland is Cleveland.
The Browns are the Browns. Like there were 3 non-division winners in the AFC who had more wins than you.
Yeah.
Buffalo had more wins than you. They didn't win their division. Houston had more wins than you. They didn't win their division. And the Chargers had more wins than you, and they didn't win their division. Like this idea that winning did we watch the playoff game?
The division's nice to win. That's a symptom of an awful conference, not you being a great team.
I also think the tough part, and again, maybe Steeler fan disagrees with this. I don't know how many we have that are listening right now, but I just...
They're a pretty big fan base.
They absolutely are.
Yeah.
I know there's a lot of Steeler fans in the area. Like, you just have to sell me on some semblance of hope for the future. And it's one thing if Aaron Rodgers is getting a goodbye tour season in Green Bay, like where he played his career. Why we don't owe him anything? He's been here for a year. He was
Also,
a Jet for 2 years.
Yeah.
Like we don't owe him a goodbye tour. We don't owe him any of that stuff. And so I don't understand the idea of wanting another year of being stuck in purgatory, because that's exactly what you will be. Aaron Rodgers being there does not mean that they can't win games. It does not mean that they can't be competitive in the division. Does Lamar stay healthy? Does Cincinnati have a defense with a pulse? Because if the answer to those questions are no, you're going to have a good shot at winning the division again by default, because that's how bad the division is right now. You know what's going to happen when you get to the playoffs? Exactly what we saw last year. It was a non-competitive game. You got smoked. You've been in the playoffs a lot lately, and you still can't win games. And so I don't understand what bringing Aaron Rodgers back for another year does. And if you're a Steeler fan who just says, let's win the division and get bounced in the wild card round again,
have fun with that.
We just disagree fundamentally as what it feels like to be a fan and what our hopes and goals are.
I always want my team to make the playoffs. It's not an anti-playoff thing. It's not even an NBA tank thing. It's more like if it's the same result over and over and over and like it's just repeatedly wild card losses with or without a division, the division tends to not matter anymore. And also your head coach is double the age of literally every coach in the NFC West. So, like, you got an old-ass coach.
Yes, he is.
Your quarterback's 42, 41 years old. He's doing a victory tour. Like, I don't know, man. You can hang your hat, I guess, on the division. I'd be happy if my team won a division, but I'd also be honest and say, my division was terrible. I only won it by default.
Yeah, if you're in the AFC West, you don't win the division. If you're in the AFC South, you don't win the division. And if you're in the AFC East, you don't win the division. You won the division because you were in the AFC North.
Hold on. Give me a second.
And you were the
here.
only team above 500 in your division.
Give me a second. Sorry.
Okay, that's all right. Search away. Pittsburgh Steeler factoids.
So, let's see. They were
10-7, I believe, last year.
10-7.
Yeah. They were the only team above 500.
The only division they would have won in the National Football League outside of that was the NFC South.
Yeah. And how do we feel about the NFC South?
They wouldn't even have made the playoffs in the NFC West.
No.
They would have been dead last.
Yes, if you swapped them and the Arizona Cardinals, they would have been in last place in the NFC West. So, like, beauty is in the eye of the beholder. Sell me on something that I can get excited about down the road, and that, to me, is either way, one of your young quarterbacks plays okay as a rookie. We've seen that before, where all of a sudden it gives you that optimism. Like, the Giants were pretty bad last year. Malik Neighbors went down. The season didn't end the way that they wanted to. I picked them to be a wild card. Like, hey, that defense might be feisty. Like, none of that ended up being true. They fired their head coach. Their best offensive weapon got hurt. Scattaboo got hurt too. Like, but how are they feeling right now? We have a Giants fan we work with. He's our boss. He's optimistic. You know why? Because Jackson Dart showed some flashes, and you're like,
it's in Harbaugh.
That's a part of it too. But also, quarterback is what is required to win in the National Football League. You don't have to have Patrick Mahomes, but you got to have somebody with a pulse at that position. And Rodgers is another year older, and you just can't sell that to me that it's going to work long term.
I more worry about too, like maybe they end up being bad because he gets hurt. He got hurt last year.
Yes.
What, he had a broken hand or wrist or something like that? Like and then he played.
Yeah.
What are you going to expect for him this year? Is he going to stay healthy? I mean, maybe it ends up working out. His last go around is, 5 games, and he's largely in a jacket, and that's going to be it. We'll see you later, Aaron Rodgers. What a disappointing end to your career the last couple of years.
A la Brett Favre. It's got to follow the Brett Favre
and
timeline.
Maybe you're almost forced. You got to play Will Howard now to see what he is, and you suck. And it ends up working out for you. That's very much in play here. I just think the setup of like, what do you think you're doing this year?
Yeah, you're gonna be competitive because your defense is good enough, but you won't do anything that matters, and you're stuck in NFL purgatory.
Well, how much is your defense going to take a step back when you changed coaches who's more offensive minded guy?
Very well could. I think a lot of those pass rushers and D-line guys are still there, so I don't see them taking a big step back, but they're not good enough to do anything that matters ultimately at the end of the day, and that's what would drive me the most nuts as a fan. Speaking of coaching, this one made me chuckle. I got one other story in the coaching world I want to get to, but I will ask you this question. Sometimes when you have opinions on topics and then you see somebody else shares the opinion, I'm always wondering if it changes. How do you feel about being on the same side of the 2014 playoff as Tim Brando? Do you see Tim Brando going hard in the paint?
I saw Tim Brando going at somebody. Well, hold on.
He was attacking the hoop with authority.
We're going to call a timeout here. You're on a 4-0 run. We need to calm this down.
You're giving me a TO.
Yeah, we're doing a
timeout, Sprague.
We're doing a Greg Popovich timeout. We're 30 seconds into the first quarter of the game, and I don't even like 2-0.
You've turned it over twice. Now all of a sudden you need a T.
I haven't come out and been like a staunch supporter of the 24.
Tim Brando, simpatico, two peas in a pod.
Tim Brando's a TV guy who wants to call playoff games, so of course he wants the 2014 playoff.
That's exactly what it is.
My stance is I think it's going to happen whether I like it or not.
Sure.
The coaches want it. That's how they make more money. The Pop-Tart Bowl is a playoff, so stop downplaying that. And I also just think, like, we fundamentally agree from some standpoints, but largely we're coming at different angles here. Tim Brando just wants to call a playoff game, and I'm telling you, it's going to happen. So stop acting like you're not going to watch it or care about it. That's all my point is.
I just chuckle because I know how we feel about Tim Brando on this show, and I saw his tweets yesterday. This has turned into a...
He was going at... I don't know who the media member was, but he was
some random
going at
guy
the
I've
guy.
never seen. He was getting very personal. Tim Brando was not letting up.
Oh.
When Tim Brando's got you on the run, he's not backing down.
Must have been a bad hair dye day.
Yeah, he's saying, come on, let's get Fox and CBS in the mix here. Can we call some playoff games around here?
That's all it is about.
I want a little taste. Let me get a little bite of the nipple here. Come on, man.
Don't act like you wouldn't want to watch the playoff Pop-Tart Bowl. Come on. What
Actually,
are we
I
doing?
wouldn't because I prefer they're on home sites. If you give me
No,
24,
I'm saying
we're
if
all
the
on home
Pop-Tart
sites.
came to Eugene...
So now we're doing bowl games in home stadiums?
Well, if they don't want to lose the company sponsorship,
Sure.
you basically tell the company, get your Pop-Tart and your big-ass toaster.
Bring a giant toaster to Autzen.
You fly into Springfield, you get to Eugene,
fly
and
into
you
Springfield.
and you cook that bad boy when Oregon beats Western Kentucky 45-15.
The poor Hilltoppers
The
are
Hilltoppers.
sacrificial lamb of the
They've
first
been
round.
topped, man.
This is what we're talking about?
Yeah.
I saw this yesterday, and I knew I needed to bring this up. Let's do one for Sprague here. So you get your Aaron Rodgers rant. We all know how you feel about Rodgers, although I am lockstep with you. He used to be my guy, but this is dumb. What are we doing now, Pittsburgh?
Okay.
This one, I'm just going to go ahead and look, Tim Brando might be on your team, so that was a rough moment, but here's an alley-oop for you. Have you seen what Brian Kelly's up to these days?
Oh, damn, I had my magic hat.
Oh, is this a magic hat segment? I apologize. I couldn't
no, that's
wait.
okay. I'll take it out. I got
This
other
is
stuff.
too good.
Yeah.
This is like...
I almost did this in the first hour, and I was like,
So-
I'll punt it to the magic hat because I didn't know if you had seen it.
Brian Kelly, who obviously got fired by LSU last year, left Notre Dame's there for 3.5 years. He gets turfed. He's gone. Now they got Lane Kiffin.
Now he's really learning.
Now he's in the process of learning. What's he learning about, you might be asking? Well, Brian Kelly, eventually that buyout money's going to run out, and old Brian Kelly's going to want to take his family to a new city.
If that buyout money runs out,
And get
he
another
needs
job.
to hire a financial consultant. You should never work again. Are you kidding me?
He was doing an interview with USA Today is where this came from, and somebody just checking in. Hey, what's Brian Kelly up to these days? He says, get ready for the next job. And he says he spends his free time during the day, which he's got a lot of it now because he's currently unemployed, and he spends his free time doing his due diligence with Claude and AI, asking questions to build some of the answers that I think will be helpful for me for the next time I get in front of an athletic director. He said...
So what are you learning from
Claude-
what is AI telling you?
Well, Claude, as you know, quote, is probably a little bit better in predicting some of the things outside of the lines, whereas ChatGPT, much more driven right down the center.
Right.
There's some interesting things that I've laid down relative to recruiting, profiling, transfer portal. There's a lot of work that you can do, and I think it's going to have to be a part of the next iteration in coaching. You're going to have to utilize those tools. Now, look, it's not going to be to take over everything. Balls and strikes are here to stay in Major League Baseball, but it's not taking over the game. I think it's enhancing it, and I think AI, used the right way and understanding how to use it, can enhance the experience for everybody.
Yeah.
So your guy Brian Kelly is spending his free time just searching on AI how to impress the next athletic director that I sit in front of to try and get another coaching job.
What he doesn't want to tell you is he's copying and pasting every possible interview question and then getting the best possible response that he can just holster right there in the interview. Now, let me ask you this, because I saw this story yesterday. I thought it was really funny. It's right in our wheelhouse. I was going to put it in the magic hat, but you brought it up.
What would you rather have, Aaron Rodgers as your franchise quarterback or Brian Kelly as your head coach?
That's not the question. Would you rather have Brian Kelly as the head coach of your program or pay $5 million for a premier recruiting coordinator and have AI
Come
be
up
your
the
head
game
coach?
plan? I'll take the latter. I'll take the latter. Give me the Jimmies and the Joes and an AI bot to coach the team. I'll take that.
The robot's not going to give my quarterback death eyes as he walks off after throwing a pick.
I don't think he's going to kill a video staffer and make him climb up into a tall tower to film practice in
During a
80-mile-an-hour
windstorm.
winds. I don't think he would do that. I don't think that I don't think he would talk about wanting to kill all of his players after the game. Remember when he did that at Notre Dame?
Remember when he banged the table and blamed the whole
Yes.
team except himself?
How does this keep happening? I don't know, Brian. Why don't you look in the mirror? Why do you guys keep blowing leads?
Well, what does this do? What are you really getting from this? I'm okay with using AI actually in a lot of aspects of the X's and O's and the nuance of football. What are you talking about?
I
What
don't
are you
know.
learning that you have? You've been a head coach since you were what, 30-something?
Let's see how long Brian Kelly has been coaching.
When was
for.
he was coaching Cincinnati while I was at Oregon State? I'm almost
God.
40, dude.
Yeah, he was at Cincinnati for a long time. He was at Cincinnati. Well, actually, no, that's not that long at all. Sorry. He has been in college football coaching since 1987. He took over at Grand Valley State as the head coach. He was their head coach from 91 to 2003, then went to Central Michigan, was there for 3 years, then went to Cincinnati, was there for 4 years, went to Notre Dame, he was there for 11, and then LSU. This guy has been coaching in college football longer than I have been alive, and he needs help from a robot for the next time he sits in front of an athletic director.
We just brought up his name coincidentally because of Rodgers. He just reminds me of Mike McCarthy talking about how much film he's grinded.
Yes.
And learned about the sport.
Yes.
Then gets the job and it comes out and he's like, I actually didn't even know what my password was on Claude. It locked me out. But I didn't want to admit that out loud because nobody wants to say they forgot what their password was.
I mean, look, there's a lot of dumb programs out there, and it wasn't like he was the worst in the world.
Dude, he's going to get a job.
He's going to get a head coaching job.
Who's on a hot seat right now? Like Wisconsin?
So I actually have something in my notes today. But I don't know if
I guess they just extended. Didn't they extend?
I mean, what do extensions mean, dude? If they
I
have
guess they mean
another
nothing,
bad year,
you're
they
right.
just had their first. Wisconsin just had their first draft without having a player taken since 1978.
So did UNC in Colorado.
Yes, they did. God, speaking of which, total side tangent.
Yeah.
You see, we're robbed of the revenge game. So the North Carolina quarterback, Gio Lopez, who transferred in for year one under Belichick, immediately transferred out. He now plays for Jake Dickert at Wake Forest. He's going to be their starter this year.
ACC battle.
He did an interview and was like, that was the worst year of my life. It sucked. He didn't make anything fun. It felt like a job. The players hate him.
I mean,
it's the worst thing that I've ever done in my life, and I could not wait to get out of there.
You know me, man. I haven't been on Belichick's side in a long time. I hate to tell Gio Lopez this. You're paid millions of dollars. It is a job.
It is technically
You're not a child anymore. This isn't high school fun with the boys. Like
it is technically
now,
a job.
you should make it fun. It should be a coach's job to make people enjoy themselves. But I hate to tell you, Gio Lopez, it is a job, and that's how people are viewing this.
You are getting paid.
I asked ChatGPT if my favorite college football team was a title contender, should they hire Brian Kelly? If your favorite college football team is already a serious national title contender, hiring Brian Kelly is a high-floor, mixed-ceiling move.
Even AI's not sold on him.
It says
he's trying to convince the robots, and they still don't believe in him.
It depends on your team situation. If your team is chaotic, underachieving, and stuck at 8 to 9 wins, he's a strong hire.
Yes.
If your team is already recruiting at an elite top 3 level and expects national titles, not just playoff appearances, these are arguments to swing for a different, higher upside guy.
Let's go with a younger coach here. What about Clemson and Dabo? Could he be gone after this year?
If they go away from Dabo, they're not going to hire Kelly.
It wouldn't make a lot of sense.
I think it'd be more a Wisconsin. You talk about hiring a Brian Kelly. Who's most likely to do that? I would pick a Wisconsin. He coached there in that region for years with Notre Dame.
He did. He's
very familiar with the Midwest.
Knows the background.
So I don't think any of that would be.
It makes the Big Ten more interesting if
shock.
he's in the conference. That's for sure. Like, he's more entertaining than Luke Fickell.
I just think he's more. Yeah, I just think he's going to get another shot. It's not like at LSU he didn't win games.
No, he won 8, 9 games every year.
I think that's what makes a lot of this dumb to me is him coming out and talking about using Claude and AI. It's like, okay, we get it. You're cool and you're hip. It's no different than you using the accent. Family. It's like you're just using the thing that makes you stand out right now. But you should have. Yeah, I'm more interested in him talking about why they couldn't quite win that one game every year. He was always one game away from making the playoffs.
It's been kind of the story of his career. He's been close and never been able to get fully over the hump his entire career. And the argument when he was at Notre Dame was that he didn't have the resources to do it, and they couldn't recruit at a top 5 level. And that's why a lot of people nationally thought when he went to LSU, like, oh, that's a home run move, because he's a good coach and he's been close, but LSU has more resources and a more fertile recruiting ground, and all that stuff makes more sense. And it just never happened. And then you get the reports out, like the irony of all this of like Claude and AI trying to help you, the under the radar or under the table rumors about him at the end of the LSU days was that he didn't care and he didn't work hard. You know why? Because they were paying him like $12 million a year.
Yeah.
He's living in Louisiana like a king. Like, he didn't recruit. He didn't give a rat's ass about stuff.
And he still came pretty close.
And it's like, if you just had that drive and that work ethic to go the extra 5% like you're trying to get out of your players, you might have been able to do it. But in the aftermath of it, everybody came out and said he didn't recruit. He didn't spend a lot of time on the stuff that mattered. And that's ultimately what kept him from coming up or what let him come up short. And if I'm an athletic director at another school, that would be the first question I would ask him.
I think the thing about that is the reality when you play all that stuff out loud is those guys will never admit, none of them will ever admit they're burnt out and they don't want to do it. Because the follow-up is, what do I do?
Yeah.
If they're not a destined, obvious media star, like, I actually think if Dabo does part away from Clemson...
Oh, he'd be great in the media landscape.
And I don't know, I'm not saying he would be done in college football. Maybe he wouldn't want in that way. But if
Somebody
he
could give him a
decided
job, but yeah.
to be Bill Cowher and retire at an earlier age than people thought...
Dude, you throw him on game day doing goofy stuff.
We'd hate some of his takes, but he would be fantastic on television.
He's definitely entertaining.
Brian Kelly,
no,
not so much. So, like, what does Brian Kelly do?
He just seems like a phony.
Guys like that, I don't think they want to admit that they're fried, they're cooked,
that
they've spent
done.
a lot of their energy on it, and they want to live a different life, and they can't completely walk away.
64 years old, man. Hang him up, buddy. Hang him up.
Fickle, by the way, is a contract until 2032.
They gave him an extension, yeah.
Oof.
Have fun with that buyout if it doesn't go well this year.
80% of whatever's left on the contract if they fire him.
Yeah, they got a brutal schedule again this year too. Yeah. Which, have fun with that, Wisconsin. We will get to the Magic Hat. Sorry for taking one out for you, but I'll throw one in. So we'll
no worries. I got Magic Hat stuff.
Okay, we got more Magic Hat. That's coming up at the top of the hour. Let's stick around the NBA a little bit. A couple of interesting comments from one coach that I want to talk about because I think we can connect it here locally. Not that we're going to be a trade partner of this team. I just thought the comments were fascinating in terms of an honest level of conversation about the season that they just had. So I'll tell you who that is. We'll stick in the NBA. We'll do it next. 105.1 FM, The Fan.
on the Fan Sports Network, 105.1 FM and 1080 AM.
First on the Fan, despite no Joel Embiid, the Sixers gave the Knicks a competitive Game 2, but Jalen Brunson and his 26 points helped New York pull away late for a 108-102 win and a 2-0 series lead. Karl-Anthony Towns also with a nice game, 20 points, 10 rebounds, and 7 assists. Out west, the Spurs destroyed the Timberwolves in Game 2, 133-95 to tie up the series 1-1. Victor Wembanyama with a double-double, 19 points, 15 rebounds. It was the largest playoff loss in Timberwolves history. Both Game 3s for those series coming up tomorrow. In the Stanley Cup playoffs, the Sabres beat the Canadiens in Game 1 of the second round, 4-2. The Ducks took down the Golden Knights in Game 2, 3-1. That series now tied at a game apiece. In the NFL, Ian Rappaport reporting Aaron Rodgers will likely play for the Steelers this upcoming season. A deal has not been done yet, but he is expected to visit the Steelers this weekend. And in baseball, the Mariners beat the Braves 3-1 to take 2 out of 3 in that series. Brian Wu, 6 scoreless innings with 9 strikeouts and allowed 1 hit. I'm Brandon Henson from the George McCoy at Warren Allen Sports Desk. Don't call your mom, call George McCoy at warrenallen.com.
This is the Fan Sports Network.
Here we go, man. Here we go.
Magic Hat coming up top of the hour. Get to a broadcasting / home and home story here in a moment. That's going to piss everybody off.
Is it?
I hope it does, but maybe it won't.
It's the future of the sport, unfortunately. And so we might be tied into this with your team. Because if anybody on this show is going to have their team do this, it ain't
it's
my
mine.
team.
Well, you are 100% right there.
Your team.
100% right there. When NBA seasons come to an end, we get exit interviews. Happens across the league. We had ours. Was that last week? I don't know what time is anymore, but I think it was last week. We got our exit interviews. Thank you. Last Thursday or whatever. Mm-hmm. We get to hear from Joe Cronin. We talked about the things that he said and the cheapness and the two-way players and all of that. Well, somebody's exit interview quotes caught my ear, and I thought they were interesting. If you were to look at the Celtics over the last 10 years, we're talking about one of, if not the best-run organizations in the NBA. Mm-hmm. Been to 6 conference finals, 2 NBA finals, right? Lost one, won one, if my math is correct there. Some of the stuff that Brad Stevens said at their exit interviews I found fascinating in terms of a level of honesty and introspection about where they're at right now as an organization and how it might translate to next year.
So did the whole league. The whole league wanted to watch this because of one of their star players jumping on a stream. Yes.
Jaylen Brown for Giannis is now the big hot ESPN trade rumor. Mm-hmm. Before I get to the audio, I'm just going to ask you a question. I'm curious if you know the answer.
Can we hop in and get Jaylen Brown if we give Milwaukee their picks back so Boston can get Giannis? I'm in.
Giannis to Boston.
Yep.
Jaylen Brown to Portland.
Yep.
Picks and
fill in the blank.
For the love of God.
Jeremy Grant,
please.
Shaden Sharp, and all the picks.
Yeah.
I'm in.
I do that trade.
I wouldn't hesitate.
I would do that trade in a
Could you imagine having Jaylen Brown here?
It would be great.
Underrated part about him, aside from his weirdo-ness.
Could be our number one.
He is fantastic in the community. Does a lot of really good things.
Yeah, the streaming's a little weird for me, but
whatever.
It's a new generation. The kids these days.
Yeah, the kids these days.
I get
it. You know what I mean? But the kids these days are also really talented and athletic.
Some guy like standing behind him in a mask. Like, what's he doing?
Who's the random white guy?
Yeah, who's
that's
that guy?
Just right there in the Celtics baseball uniform.
Can I be in your stream? I'll stream with you.
You'll be the random white guy from Selwood.
He's not doing anything. He's just standing there.
It's my guy Andy.
That's right, Jaylen. You told him.
Over at Eastmo.
Hey.
Make sure you check him out.
Hey, Westmo.
Well, he's in Eastmo.
Oh,
You're in Eastmo with him.
Touché.
He's staying in Eastmo.
Do you guys know off the top of your head, or care to guess, what the Blazers' record was versus teams above 500 this year?
Oh, that's a great
question. The Portland Trail Blazers finished the season.
Can I guess a winning percentage more than a record? Because I don't even know how to put that
I will tell you this. I'll tell you how many games.
Okay.
They were 42-40 on the year. 42-40 final record.
Correct.
They played a total of 49 games against teams above 500 this year. 49 of their 82.
I will say 49. So I'll say they were 16-33.
16-33?
Yeah.
Okay. Brandon, you want to guess?
I was gonna go a little better than that. I was gonna say like 8 games under that, so
Okay, so
As
24
in 8
and
more losses than wins.
Okay. I got you. So I'll give you the answer on the other side of the audio, but I just want to let's hear what Brad Stevens. The Celtics were the 2 seed in the Eastern Conference.
Okay,
they have been a very well run team for a long time. Conference Finals, right? Went over the whole pedigree. Here's a couple of clips from Brad Stevens yesterday at their exit interviews.
We have to play well in the regular season to get to where we want to go, and so we don't want to undersell the regular season. That said, as I look at us honestly, I think that how we played against the best teams is relevant and should be taken into account as we look at our team moving forward. And I think the other thing that you have to consider, especially for next year, is there were a lot of teams in the NBA that were playing for draft positioning this year, and that will not be the case next year. Mm-hmm. And so the league's going to be a lot better. The regular season's going to be a lot harder. Mm-hmm. And it will probably give you a better indication of what everybody really is.
So that was Brad Stevens on the Boston Celtics about their record against teams who were he cited it. I can't remember off the top of my head, but he basically used the top 3 or 4 seeds in the East and the West.
Do you remember?
They had a very hard time. It was well below 500 against the top 3 or 4 teams. Now, he's not just doing playoff teams; he's doing contending teams. They're in a different class than us, right? So we're not comparing apples to apples.
Sure.
The Blazers' record against teams with a 500 record or better this year was 19-30.
I was close.
You were very close. You guys kind of split the difference a little bit there.
Yeah, I knew it was a losing record. I just wasn't sure how bad.
19-30 is what the final result ended up being. At one point, they had more losses than that, but then I think 2 of the teams ended up falling below 500, if that makes sense.
Well, and then how many of the wins? So at the end of the year is when they kind of surged on.
Yes, they were 23-10 against teams who were below 500 this season.
Yeah, they feasted on the bad
13
teams.
games above 500 against tanking bad NBA teams. And so I have brought this up a couple of times. I don't think it's going to necessarily dictate what they do or don't do because we have new ownership, and that usually leads to change. But just this idea of we've taken a step, I think we can all acknowledge that. I'm just going to continue to shout from the top of the mountaintops of how big of a step was it? And does that step regress next year, depending on what you do this offseason, because you will not have as many tanking teams. And I thought it was great to hear a Brad Stevens type acknowledge, dude, we won a lot of games against teams who were actively trying to lose, and we have to take that into consideration.
So a couple things here. How big a step did we take? Well, we went from no play-in playoff to in the playoff 7 seed.
But how many teams did we beat that were tanking this year that were not tanking the year before?
Well, but they won 6 more games. And now I want to follow up to that. It's great. It was a fun season. They over-exceeded the expectations, especially once their head coach was arrested by the FBI.
The over-under, they blew it out of the water.
The injuries were a big concern. They got through it, okay? Now the part that is, I think, more worthy of the conversation that you're bringing up, and I think is a very valid point. When they didn't make even the play-in last year, they won 36 games. What was the main takeaway at the end of the season? And then the carryover into the start of the season press conferences. What was the takeaway?
Defense.
We're a juggernaut defense. We ended the year this. We extended everybody because of the way our season ended, and look where we're going. And they got 6 games better. And then also by acknowledging, truthfully in Boston, oh, that's right, a huge percentage of the league openly tried to lose in a way that the league has never seen before.
No.
So bad and so egregiously, the league had to change the tanking stuff. So I don't know how we're evaluating this internally from our vantage point, the way that he's talking about. Joe Cronin's not going to come out. I don't recall if he said this at his presser. I don't remember hearing this. Did he talk about what our record was against the better teams in the West?
No, I thought he had a good press conference, but that was not a part of it.
I do too. And I understand not every general manager or president of a basketball team does. But I think it highlights the difference between orgs. Boston, we know, is a better organization.
No doubt.
Historically and now. But also, if you want to know why and how, having Tatum and Brown certainly is the hugest of deals. But you're also seeing the way they think. That's a highlight of how they think and operate. They were a 2 seed who blew a 3-1 lead to a 7-seeded team that had a banged-up player that came back and played well.
Yep.
They are absolutely disappointed by that result. But you also can't just say, well, okay, we're one of the few teams to blow a 3-1 lead in NBA history. Woe is us, poor us, we're okay. He's like, yo, why did this happen?
Yeah.
And now he's evaluating everything, and he's telling you, Okay, and looking back, the regular season does matter, even though most people don't think it starts till after January now, but it matters to us. Well, how did we do against the good teams? Oh, not so hot. Well below 500. That has to matter because he is right. I gave Adam Silver the credit on this with the tanking stuff. You may not like it. It's never going to curb tanking fully, but I'm telling you next year, you will see so many more teams actually trying.
Yes.
Because what I think Silver's after is just the effort. You're going to have bad teams. You cannot stop that.
We don't need 17, 19, 20, 22, 22, 25, 26, 26. Those are your bottom 9 teams of the Western Conference.
You're always going to have the Nationals and the Raiders and the Wizards. Those are always going to exist in sports. You're never going to stop that. But what you can stop is the egregiousness of it, and I think he's going to get that at least next year. And so I think Stevens is viewing this the right way, and I hope we are too, of like, it was great to take a step, but simply rolling over 1 or 2 pieces is not going to make or break us taking that next step. I don't expect title contention.
No.
But, man, if you could hypothetically jump into a scenario where Jalen is on the trading block and you're the third team involved who's giving away real capital
to go get a piece,
to be getting that piece, yeah, dude, I'm all in on that idea, and I think that's the way you should evaluate it.
I think it's a good reminder for me. Like, I don't know what they're saying behind the scenes, right? Like, maybe this is exactly how the Blazers are thinking. They just haven't said it publicly. Maybe Joe Cronin looks in the mirror and says, yeah, I mean, we got better this year, but how better did we get considering?
Yeah, and I don't mean to interrupt you, but doesn't them talking about them putting so much in the way last season ended tell you how they're thinking?
Here's the one difference.
That tells me how Brad Stevens is
totally
viewing it.
Get it. Here's the one difference, and this is, again, while I will reiterate, and I know some listeners probably don't like it because you're concerned about the Portland Super Blazers or the Seattle Super Blazers. This is one of the reasons I'm excited to have a new owner. Because if Jody Allen was in charge and nothing had changed behind the scenes, I know that's exactly how they would have handled their offseason. We went from how many wins to how many wins. We went from non-play-in to play-in. We're a playoff team now. Like, we took a step. We're going to have internal. Like, that's what we did for 10 years under Neil O'Shea. It was the same thing.
Yeah.
Every year.
You just had an all-time player lift you
who could
higher
carry
than
you
they
year in and year
yeah.
out. But we knew that there wasn't any light at the end of the tunnel. And so it's one of the reasons that I'm glad that there's at least a change in ownership and leadership at the top, because I do think that these are the kind of questions that should be asked. And hearing Brad Stevens say it made me feel not crazy bringing this up at the end of the year of like, dude, go look at who Portland beat after the All-Star break.
Patsies.
It's
Absolute
literally
patsies.
nobody.
Yeah.
And that's when they made their money, and it's when they went on their run and they played their way into a play-in spot.
If their schedule is reversed, they may not make the play-in.
Right. If it's a little more backloaded, they just had the easiest schedule in the NBA after the All-Star break, and they capitalized on it to their credit. But the whole argument is, will you be able to capitalize on it next year? Because there won't be as many tanking teams. We'll get to some more on this, see if there's any more thoughts on the story. I just found what Brad Stevens had to say incredibly refreshing and honest about the state of the NBA. And like, dude, we fed off a lot of really bad teams this year. That plus the future of broadcasting and college athletics is going to rub a lot of people the wrong way. We'll get to those next. 105.1 FM, The Fan. Hey, it's Stewart here, sticking around for our good friends at... Yeah, I think we all agree. Go get Jaylen Brown this offseason. Pull it off. Let's go, Cronin.
Look, if you had AD...
You know what you got to do?
Take your hand and put it down your pants, son. Squeeze them damn things. Make sure you got two.
If it's AD, Giannis, or Jaylen Brown...
Oh, yeah. What's your big board there? 1, 2, 3.
I'm taking Jaylen number 1.
Over Giannis? Health reasons?
Yeah.
Is he younger? How old is Jaylen Brown?
He is younger than Giannis. He's under control. He's got the contract.
He's 29 years old.
Giannis is 32?
Giannis is 30...
31? 32?
30, Googling, 31.
And he's going to want a new 5-year
Yes, he will.
Supermax extension after being a little banged up. Now,
Jaylen Brown was once our running mate of Damian Lillard, don't you remember?
I remember that. Jaylen Brown, I would, and also the fit, the way it would kind of work out, I would rather have it. Now, Giannis is second there, and AD is a
distant third.
I'd probably have Trey Murphy ahead of AD if I was being honest.
Unless it's a salary dump and a second-round pick, and you're like, all right, whatever, let's kick the tires on and see how it works.
Kick the tires and light the fires, Big
I'd
Daddy.
rather have Anthony Davis than Jeremy Grant on my team.
Yes, confirmed. I'd rather see him in street clothes than watch Jeremy Grant do what he did in the playoffs again.
I would too.
That was terrible.
I would too, and he's making $35 million.
I mean, I don't want to spend the whole summer doing the hypothetical thing. We are in such a weird, fascinating, interesting time here.
Mm-hmm.
Other years, we've been sold a bill of goods. Some seasons it's largely nothing but run it back with the young guys and see if they grow.
Yeah.
This is a real, can you build on this moment? Minnesota is showing you, whether they win this in 6, 7, or lose in 5, they're showing you that, hey, they're not going anywhere.
No, we might not be to the level of OKC San Antonio, but if there's a next tier, we are right there and on top of it.
San Antonio, OKC going nowhere.
Yep.
LA, I think, will tweak their roster and figure that out, and
Agreed.
so I'm not going to take them off of a big board. And then you're in the group with everybody else. You're in it with the Clippers. You're in it with the Suns. You're
Denver. You didn't even mention there. He's got Jokic. Still.
Thank you. You're in this Golden State. Are they going to get any better?
Yeah.
You're in it, and you're going to have by the way, a couple tanking teams. Utah is not going to actively try to tank.
No.
I think they could be better with Markin and Triple J and Keontae George. So
Dallas has Cooper Flag coming back for you too.
And what if they get DeBonsa, right? They're a young, fun team. So I'd rather not be complacent. I'd rather be aggressive. You now more than ever, with that pick conveying, there is not an excuse. You have the trade capital. You've got the contracts. If you can get in on a phone call and say, look, Milwaukee, you're operating in business. We got a lot of your business. And you got money to match. Throwing Milwaukee, who may not want to do the Jaylen Brown bad, weird, good thing, and saying, let us get that. You get these picks back. And you get Shaedon Sharpe and Jeremy Grant.
Yeah, I'll give you a couple of pieces, make the salaries work.
And Boston, it is a trade that makes a ton of sense. Atlanta also makes sense here in our place, but Atlanta only has the one pick of Milwaukee's to give back to them. We've got the pick swaps and the picks. So Joe Cronin doesn't have, there's not a reason to be laid back, and I don't think he will.
No.
My biggest takeaway is they're going to make a massive move. I just don't know in what capacity. But that's a move, dude. Sign us up all day for that.
Well, and a comment on YouTube was essentially, let me go find it. Why would Boston ever even trade him? And I certainly understand that thought because I have the same one, too, of if nobody's forcing a hand here and I'm Boston, if I'm Brad Stevens.
Oh, I'm running it back. Yeah.
I'm running it back.
Same.
You didn't have Tatum all year, essentially. He came back at the very end of the season and then missed the most pivotal game in the first round. He couldn't play in Game 7.
He might have won Game 7 if Tatum
plays,
right?
And we're having a different conversation right now. So if there is no sense of urgency from one of the guys, then you just run it back because you've been one of the best organizations in the league and you're going to get Tatum hopefully healthy for a full season. This has to stem from, and I think why people are going down this road now, is because, and we played the comments earlier in the week when he said him, Jaylen Brown went on a stream and said that was the most enjoyable year he's ever had in the NBA. And they were a 2 seed who blew a 3-1 series lead, which is a very rare thing in the history of the NBA. And he's been an NBA champion and a finals MVP. He's been to 6 conference finals. He's been to 2 NBA finals. He's been really good, and they've been really good for a long time. This is one of the worst years the Celtics have had when you consider postseason success. in God knows how long. So, I mean, in 10 years.
I mean, they're part of
very
history,
rare.
blowing a 3-1 lead.
Yes,
That's
and he said this was
rarefied
the
air.
most enjoyable year. And the reason he said it, many people are assuming, is because this was the first time in his career that he didn't have a Tatum shadow over his shoulder. He was their number one option, and he played like a number one player all season, and he led them to the 2 seed this year. Now, it was in the Eastern Conference, and according to their GM, a little misleading based on beating bad teams. But still, like, I think that's where I totally get the point, because I have the same thought of, like, why would Boston trade either of those guys? It has to come internally from a Jaylen Brown saying, like, all right, that was fun. I want to go do that somewhere else where I can be an option. And whether he's traded in Milwaukee straight up for Giannis, or whether it's another team and somebody else gets involved, for the love of God, Cronin, let's go. He would be the number one option on any other team that would pull off that trade.
Tend to agree. We're not suggesting he is gonna get traded. It is, though, to me, him going to them. I mean, I want you to imagine a scenario. I know one guy means a little bit more, but just imagine a scenario where Dame Lillard goes on a live stream and talks about how his first year in Milwaukee was actually his favorite year of his career.
Right.
How would you feel?
Not great.
Like what?
Huh?
You literally...
You carried our franchise for a decade. You won playoff series.
That guy literally won the championship and was the finals MVP in the conference and NBA finals. And he said the most fun of his career was the year his running mate was not playing.
The year Tatum was not available. I get it.
That's why people are doing the speculation stuff, because who says that? What an odd thing to say when you've reached the top of the pinnacle of your sport and been crowned. You were the best in this moment. Like, why would this year be the best year?
Right.
Oh, he was on the sideline. So I'm not even saying it. Boston would run this back, no problem, if he doesn't say anything. It's more of, does he say anything privately? And the indication becomes like, oh, okay, well, you want your own thing? We'll grant you that, and we can get a great player out of this deal.
Yeah, it's funny because it's a reminder, and again, we don't know where this is going to go, but just the fact that this is a for Brown had those comments, it's a reminder of how delicate the balance is of keeping egos in check for a long run in the NBA. Like, I thought back to the Jailblazer documentary where Bob Whitsitt tells a story about getting Scotty. Scotty wanted nothing to do with Portland. He didn't want to come here. Rains a lot, weather's not good. Like, Portland, I'm not going there. And what was his selling point to get him to come? If you go to L.A. and win titles, you ain't ever getting. You're the fourth fiddle.
Yeah.
Phil's bigger than you, Kobe's bigger than you, and Shaq's bigger than you. So you're the fourth fiddle, and you were always the second fiddle or third fiddle in Chicago, depending on if you gave more credit to the coach and obviously MJ. And so that was the whole point. It was a selling point to get him to come here. Now, he would have had 3 more championships had he gone to L.A. I don't know what that does to his legacy, because that would be, if he had 9 rings, it'd be pretty wild.
Is Scotty the GOAT if he has 9?
But it's just like, it's a very fragile ecosystem of trying to keep everybody happy and satisfied. It's not easy to do. And I get it from Brown's perspective, because I've always felt like he's the best player in Boston. And he'll never be the face of the franchise, because Tatum's just the bigger media darling. He's in more commercials. He's more recognizable. His career at Duke was more notable. Like, everything about him, it was a bigger deal coming in than Brown. And so I don't blame him for wanting to get out of the shadow. I just think personally he should come back to the West Coast,
Cal guy.
Why don't you come play over here?
Here we go, man. Here we go.
Dare to dream, Andrew.
I've heard his politics. I know they align with our politics. Steve Kerr's too. Look at that. 2 for Kerr.
Are we getting Kerr and Brown?
Jaylen Brown.
Oh, my gosh.
Let's come be woke together, baby. Come woke it up over here. We got a lot to get to in the final hour of the show. I meant to get to a broadcasting thing there. I will kick that to the Magic Hat, because we got a longer Magic Hat now. It's a big hat.
We got a big Magic Hat runway here.
It's a big, full Magic Hat runway, and that's where we start the final hour next. 105.1 FM, The Fan.
Sports Network, 105.1 FM and 1080 AM.
First on the Fan, despite no Joel Embiid, the Sixers gave the Knicks a competitive Game 2, but Jalen Brunson and his 26 points helped New York pull away late for a 108-102 win and a 2-0 series lead. Karl Anthony Towns also with a nice game, 20 points, 10 rebounds, and 7 assists. Out west, the Spurs destroyed the Timberwolves in Game 2, 133-95 to tie up that series 1-1. Victor Wembanyama with a double-double, 19 points, 15 rebounds. It was the largest playoff loss in Timberwolves history. Game 3 for both of those series coming up tomorrow. In the Stanley Cup playoffs, the Sabres beat the Canadiens in Game 1 of the second round 4-2. The Ducks took down the Golden Knights in Game 2 3-1. That series now tied at a game apiece. In the NFL, Ian Rappaport reporting Aaron Rodgers will likely play for the Steelers this upcoming season. A deal has not been done yet, but he is expected to visit the Steelers this weekend. And in baseball, the Mariners beat the Braves 3-1 to take 2 out of 3 in that series. Brian Wu, 6 scoreless innings with 9 strikeouts and allowed 1 hit. I'm Brandon Henson from the George McCoy at Warren Allen Sports Desk. Don't call your mom, call George McCoy at warrenallen.com.
This is the Fan Sports Network.
Let's do this final hour. Dirt and Sprague here, Portland Sports Leader, 105.1 FM, The Fan, 1080 AM, the Odyssey app, live on YouTube. Good morning, everybody. Hope your Thursdays are off to a great start.
Oh, indeed.
Got a lot to get to here in the last hour of the show. The NBA playoffs continue tonight. Do we care? Will we be watching tonight?
It's a big day, dude. I got to plant my spicy jalapeno plants.
Ooh, I already got the full garden in, man. It's growing like crazy.
We're kind of taking it day by day.
I've never planted this early before. It's a roll of the dice.
The weather is.
Because if you get one frosty morning, it could all crumble on you.
Yeah.
So, holding out hope.
You going to buy shade covers for your plants? People are starting to do that because of the sun.
I actually have a very shady backyard. If anything, I have too much shade in my backyard. I need a little more. I could use a little more sunlight to help everything grow. Because I got to get my pumpkins in at some point, and I don't. Pumpkins need a lot of sunlight.
Yes.
So I got to find a place. I'm scouting my the surroundings of my house every day. Dude, pumpkins are a lot of fun to grow.
You're going to deprive Teddy Ballgame of a pumpkin patch experience?
You're damn right I will. One, they're stupid. It's a long drive. It's a waste of a Saturday during football season or Sunday during football season.
Don't act like there's not bad weekends.
To go buy a pumpkin that I could just grow on my own, and I'm going to put them in a wheelbarrow. We'll wheel you out to the backyard, buddy. I'll put a little scarecrow out there. You want me to bob for apples? What else? You want me to get a farm animal there?
I don't think people bob for apples
We got a guy in our neighborhood who's got a full-on farm in his front lawn. He's got like 4 goats.
Does he really?
A couple of rabbits. Yeah, dude.
Does it smell?
Yeah, when you walk by, it does, yeah.
Like really bad?
It smells,
pungent.
It's pungent.
Stings the nostrils.
Dude, he loves seeing it. I'll carry him up in a wagon to go see that house, and then we'll wagon back to the house, pull the pumpkin out of the backyard, say, look at that, buddy. You got your own pumpkin.
Can you not act like you can't go to the pumpkin patch when Northwestern and Purdue are playing?
Can't do it, dude.
Nobody cares.
What's Barry Odom going to do this year? Pat Fitzgerald? He's not at Northwestern anymore. How will they survive? I couldn't remember Northwestern's coach off the top of my head.
It's Braun.
Yeah, it's Braun.
Yeah. He's still there.
It's still Barry Odom, though. Year 2, Purdue.
Okay.
What's it going to do?
Oh, yeah. God forbid you miss the big nooner with Joe Klatt.
That's a future. I'm scouting. Oregon plays them in 3 weeks. I can't miss that game. It's 9 a.m. on a Saturday.
You need to scout.
What do you want from me here, all right?
We treat that like a bye week on the radio. By the way, for all the big game stuff, I know there's a side note. I was thinking about this yesterday because people are really mad about the 2014 playoff. They're like, well, it's going to make the regular season not count anymore. And what about big games? They're not going to care anymore. And I go, dude, I literally did a show the entire week of the Indiana game, and Duck fan was like, who cares? My co-host lives and breathes this team. He sleeps on Duck sheets, and he barely gave me anything about the game. He's like, it's Indiana. Who cares? And then they lost, and it was like, holy crap, man, what's going on here?
This guy's falling.
Like, yeah, you guys don't care sometimes when we get big games. Complaining about.
Indiana. It's Indiana. What do you want from
It's
me?
Indiana.
It's Indiana. They suck. They can't be any good. Can they?
Okay.
They can't be good, can they? I don't
All
think so.
right.
All right, Magic Hat time. What do we got today, Brandon? What's in the old hat? Do we have any
All
Brandon
right.
submissions into the Magic
Yeah,
Hat?
we got a couple.
Oh, I'm looking forward to it.
We got a
Baby.
couple.
I'm just hoping
Not
I
as
remember.
personal as a couple weeks ago.
I'm
but-
hoping I remember what I wrote.
I know. That's usually what we do. We
Sometimes
forget.
I most of the time I write it down and then he says it. Like sometimes I'm like, oh no, is that me?
Yeah.
Here we go again.
Here we go again. Is that you?
Is that another past one?
Wait.
Past time?
Here we go again.
That might be a past one.
I think that's a past one.
That might have been mine last week, but now I was going to announce the kid number 2 in the Magic Hat. It didn't get pulled.
that
so
makes
I did it
sense.
in the next
We
segment.
should have set
That
that
makes
up.
sense.
I know. I didn't think ahead.
Yeah.
Uh,
I told the wife too. I was like, I'm gonna. She was like, "Are you gonna say it on the air?" And I was like, "Yeah, I'll probably do it for the 9 a.m. segment, Magic Hat." So then she had to listen to the whole Magic Hat.
no.
We didn't do it. I don't even remember. I think
How
we-
important is kid number 2? I didn't even choose to do it in the segment.
Magic
You know,
Hat
we
didn't
did
want
get
us
the
to
pulled.
want
The J.P. Morgan dominatrix got pulled.
That was a good one.
I mean, that was a good story. That was a good story.
future of broadcasting.
Okay, this is perfect because I was going to do this in the last segment. We got distracted by Jaylen Brown. So, have you guys seen what Duke is trying to pull off and how
I
it's
did.
pissing everybody off?
Their men's basketball program wants Do-Re-Mi.
So you're saying, hey, do you know who we are? We're Duke. Okay, we're the Dukies. We're the biggest draw in the sport. We got Cooper Flagg, not anymore, but I got John Shire. All right, we're going to be okay. So what Duke came out and announced a couple weeks ago or last week, I can't remember exactly what it was, but they basically said we're going to have 4 or 5 standalone games that we're selling to Amazon Prime. Like they have a game against Michigan. Remember they played them at the end of the season this year. It was a really good regular season game. So they have a couple of those like marquee, I can't remember. I'll have to go pull up who all the opponents were. One of them might have been Gonzaga, to be honest. But it was like big time matchups, not like we're playing Bethune-Cookman here. You're talking top 10, top 15-ish type programs. And so they're trying to sell this to Amazon. That has led to some of the conferences who are also affiliated with the other teams, a la the Big Ten, Michigan, saying like, hell no, you won't. And they're trying to fight this thing tooth and nail of like, wait a minute, why are you allowed to go sell this sub package of your games? We're not getting a taste of this action. This is ludicrous. So this is going to be a new battle in the college athletics space. And it is now, according to Ross Dellinger, potentially encroaching into football. Earlier this morning, it was announced Florida State and Georgia had a home and home scheduled. One in Athens, one in Tallahassee. Home and homes are great. Who doesn't enjoy them?
Great home and home.
That's a good one. FSU, like, dude, talk about coaches who might get fired. Mike Norvell, what are we going to do this year? That's a really fun home and home. They came out and announced they're canceling it, and they're moving it to a neutral site. And according to Dellinger, he thinks it connects to the Duke Amazon deal that these two schools are going to try and find a wiggle room out and say, well, it's a neutral site game, so the broadcast partner of the conference doesn't have the rights to it. We're going to go sell it to fill in the blank, YouTube, whatever, right? Netflix, Amazon Prime, and we're going to be able to cash in on an interesting marquee non-conference game, although Florida State's nothing about them right now is marquee. This is going to be the future, and teams are going to keep pushing the limits as far as they can until somebody tells them emphatically no, but to the point, that has not happened yet.
Well, yeah, but like also you don't know if Florida State, if it's an early non-conference game, who beat Bama last year?
Florida State did, right?
Right,
Out of the
Bama
gate.
was a playoff team. Florida State barely won a game after that game.
Yes.
So, like, it's not like they can't win it. They usually almost always have talent. It's just, is Norvell good? You know, for all the debate about 24, 16, this is actually the most detrimental in my opinion. This is where you kill your fans.
Yeah.
You have a home and home scheduled.
You got Georgia coming to town.
You got Georgia coming to Tallahassee. You got Florida State going
Coming
to
to
Georgia.
Athens,
These fan bases can drive to these colleges.
Oh, yeah.
They're right next to each other, and now you're going to deprive them so you can go to Jerry's World. And all for what?
Yeah. Or playing Atlanta.
$12 million on Amazon Prime or whatever it ends up like I don't even know what the cost of that game would be.
They would say it's enough money to pay for a wide receiver 2 in the transfer portal next year, and that's all that matters to us.
If you think the expanded playoff of 24 is gross, capitalism, a gross form of capitalism, it's all about the Do-Re-Mi, I'd argue at least they're going to be playing home venue sites for playoff games.
We hope. We
hope.
don't know that for certain yet, but we hope.
This has been the worst thing of the sport. For all the people going on Feinbaum saying, oh, only real ball knowers like it this way, and the Josh Pates of the world saying, oh, college football was great when it was this way, I'll tell you what the worst thing to me has been. It's the neutral site. The neutral site has been easily, for me as a sports fan, the worst part of what the sport has done in the last 20 years.
It's not even close.
NIL portal, sure.
Yeah.
Roster poaching, ugly. Coaches jumping ship, all right. Buyouts being ugly and gross, yeah, it's disgusting. Expansion to playoff, you don't like it, that's fine. Conferences dying and growing, I get all of it. I cannot stand in that sport when you talk about pageantry and venues and legendary home sites that we all want to play video games in.
Yes.
You are stripping it away year by year so you can go play in these monstrosity NFL stadiums, all to make a couple bucks that ultimately don't really make or break. If anything, they give you the money for your buyout when you fire your coach stupidly. I hate it. It's maybe
Oregon's
not
played in 3 of them, and they're all 3 venues that I would be bucket list for me to go. LSU way back in the day. The Auburn game was played in Dallas, Texas. I would much rather go down to Auburn and watch a game. And then Georgia, they played in Atlanta. So you were already in the state. You already were all the way down there. I had to fly to Atlanta for that game. I might as well drive 2 hours to Athens to go watch and play in an actual college football stadium.
The death of the Pac-12 is easily number 1, if I could correct that. But the number 2 biggest thing in the last 20 years of that sport that they've gotten wrong that I've hated the most, it's neutral site games.
Yeah, just get ready for these battles, man, because they're going to keep popping up. Conferences are going to try and fight back against it because they want to control the inventory. And so as long as they don't have the ability to do that, teams are going to continue to test what they're able to get rid of. What else we got in the hat?
COVID Deja Cruz. Okay, this is me.
Oh, no.
Oh, no.
It's
right.
back.
You did it. You
I'm
put it in
sorry.
there.
I gotta bring this
Somebody
up.
had to put it in.
I gotta bring this up.
It's too
though.
big of a
So,
story.
If you don't know, there's a cruise ship that is essentially stranded, or not stranded, but I mean, it's definitely under investigation.
Everybody ready to work remote again?
Yeah, exactly.
Seriously.
So they are.
They were bird watching.
Yes,
this is a bird
they were
watching
bird
tour. It's a
watching, sure.
$22,000 tour. It's mainly old people on the smaller cruise boat.
And then they find out that 3 people are getting sick on the ship to the tune of 3 people now are dead due to the hantavirus, and 5 other people are severely ill.
And 1 doctor had to be airlifted out of it because guess what? They're finding it's being contacted.
There's a strain that can spread human to human.
Person to person. Guess what the World Health Organization announced today?
What do they know?
They are now monitoring 3 people who probably have it that got off the boat.
Mm-hmm. Here we
and
go
this
again.
is a 40% death rate, by the way. This virus,
it's a massive,
it kills
it's
your
like child's
respiratory
play.
system. It's over if you get it.
Yeah. Another reason why I never want to go on a cruise ship ever.
Amen.
Well,
Period.
that's fun, but the cruise ship is now bringing it to the world.
Yeah. Well, there was a video. So there's a video of a guy who's on the ship. He's like literally crying. He's like, think of us he's like this guy who's in quarantine in his room. I don't know if he has it or not, but he's basically like, this is miserable. When you see this as a news story, remember there's people who are on this ship. Like, this is our lives that we're here.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's super emotional. And then another video went viral yesterday. The captain of the cruise ship, when the first passenger died from the virus, coming out and doing a speech in front of everybody on the boat, basically saying, hey, by the way, we had a passenger die last night. And then he says, but it was for natural causes. We don't think there was anything contagious or nothing. Like, he basically downplayed the entire thing when the first person passed away.
Yeah.
Brandon hit the nail on the head. Cruise ships should cease to exist. There's no way they're good for the environment.
No
Don't do them. That's not a good idea. Bad things will happen to you.
But Andrew, they're so cheap and it's a vacation.
No, thank you. we need to shut them all down. I don't need Shaq doing commercials about going on a slide and a roller coaster on a cruise ship.
The Miami Heat will be for sale if that happens.
Yes, they will. Shut them all down, man. But by the way, so this one, it was a super long voyage. I read up on it a little bit. So the reason people were getting off, because it was one of those that was like a month-long journey.
They go from Argentina all the way down to Antarctica.
They went to Antarctica, and so there were people who were just like random stops would get off and be like, all right, that's 2 months for me is enough.
Yeah.
And they got off the ship, not realizing at the time they may or may not had it. One gal got on a flight and flew to Johannesburg. Her husband had died on the cruise ship. I don't know how she got off. Then she got on a plane, so now they're having to contact trace everybody that was on the airplane. It's another thing of like all the cruises you could do.
This is how it happens.
You're going to Antarctica, and
it's a bird thing.
The belief is, it comes from like rodent poop, and so they're like in caves breathing in rodent poop, and they've now contracted this virus.
Well, the worst thing is the initial thought was it's just you basically have to be in contact with it.
That you can't spread human to human.
The doctor getting it is a
red flag,
a huge red flag, because he's close to him, obviously, but contacting it means So
cool.
Happy Thursday, everybody!
Yeah. Hey,
get ready for it.
You think the administration's ready for this?
Hey.
Because they were ready for the last one.
Yeah.
It's going to go away by Easter, though.
We'll be all right. We'll be all right.
Maybe.
2 weeks.
Leave them on the ship. Our numbers will look good. Just leave them out there. Leave them out in the ocean.
This will go away in 2 weeks.
Dude, they're stuck on that ship for like 8 weeks.
Yeah,
I was
I
like,
don't
the
know
news
what
is
to
coming
do
out being
here.
like, you can't come off. I'm sorry. You just can't do it.
I hate to say this. You need to gather the people that left, and you need to.
Put them back on the ship.
No, they need to be in a quarantine.
Yeah.
What are you doing?
Drag back onto the boat.
Well, I mean, are we not all thinking like what we're all thinking?
Yeah.
We're going to monitor? If it's being passed person to person, what are we monitoring? Get them out of there.
we're on it.
Quarantine.
We're on it.
Give them a television, some snacks.
Yeah.
Sit in the lab.
Show them Tiger King. Help me.
Oh, that's not great.
Okay. All right, what else we got?
All right. The doucher.
All right, so
Boy, the Magic Hat's been all dirt lately, I swear.
hey, I was trying to announce the birth of a child, soon to be, and I couldn't even get polled last week. All right, so this guy, don't even like. All right, you wanted like a hot topic for me. Draymond Green was one earlier in the show. I can't stand Draymond Green.
You hate this guy.
I can't stand him.
This guy you hate, though.
The doucher will not stop, and everything he says is, I feel like, dumber than the last thing he said the time before. So, DeChambeau, everybody acknowledges the draw that he is and the poll that he is, and I get it. His YouTube numbers are good. He's a villain. People don't like him. Like, I'm not trying to act as if him being some sort of a lightning rod in the golf world is not real. I acknowledge that it fully is.
Mm-hmm.
We're now on the brink of Live Golf collapsing. His contract is up at the end of this year. They might try and stay on some sort of like zombie golf league, but you're not going to have big purses and you're not going to be able to pay these guys what hundreds of millions of dollars that they were paying him. So he's basically left with two options. One is to come back hat in hand to the PGA Tour, say, what do I need to do to get back on this tour? Or do something that we've never seen before, and that is play YouTube golf and not actually play on a tour.
And just do major championships.
And just play the major championships. Now, he's trying to argue that is enough to get him ready to play in major championships.
Come on.
But he's also trying to argue that the PGA Tour should bend over backwards and say, like, oh, well, they're in a rough spot. They fired a couple of people. He's making this argument that they need me. And it just does not gel with reality of, one, the PGA Tour ratings have been incredibly strong since he left. Nothing has really been that impacted. And if he is such a draw, why does nobody watch Live Golf?
Right. He's only a draw when he gets to play against the PGA Tour guys on the major championship
You're
stage.
a draw against Grant Horvat on
Yeah.
YouTube. Congratulations. That's a drastically different audience than the people who are watching golf events on Saturdays and Sundays every single weekend. And so his arrogance and his idea that you need me, you better get on hand and knee to come beg me to come back to the PGA Tour, honestly makes my blood boil, because he's acting as if he's the second coming, and he just isn't. He's a good golfer. He's entertaining. He's a lightning rod. I acknowledge all of that. I can't stand his ego. This is even better. So he was one of the few guys who played his way into the ability to be a live guy who played on the last Ryder Cup team. And this is a story from the Foreplay podcast on Barstool. They have Kevin Kisner, who's a part of it now, and he's one of the lead analysts for
NBC.
Thank you. And he told a story. Kisner was one of the alternate captains on the team, and he told a great story about something that we all deal with in day-to-day life, and then how would you handle if you were the one who got included?
I'll tell y'all a hilarious story about him early on is when we made the team and we go to make the big group thread. He didn't have an iPhone, so you couldn't share videos or clips on the group thread because he had a Samsung. And so Keegan basically told him he had to go get an iPhone to be able to be on the team. Like, dude, I've got so much stuff to share with you over the course of the next 6 weeks. Like, you have to have an iPhone number, even if it's a second phone. So he goes, gets a new phone number, shares it with Keegan, starts the group message. Everyone starts commenting. Nobody hears from Bryson. He had told Keegan the wrong number by 1 digit. So some random person in America is getting all these comments from the U.S. Ryder Cup team for about 30 minutes. And so that was a hilarious start to our Ryder Cup. I think the guy even commented, if I remember correctly, like, hey, I don't know what any of this is, but good luck to y'all. I think even somebody commented back like, yeah, whatever, Bryson, funny joke. And then the guy was like, no, seriously, I don't know who these people are.
Of course he's a non-iPhone guy, first off. We all hate that they ruined the group chat.
Yeah.
And second, if you're that guy who gets added to the Ryder Cup group chat, are you just chiming in?
I think
How do you operate?
Okay, it's much easier to say this knowing who's in the group chat, right? Like, we know that's the Ryder Cup team. Now let's pretend you are this person. Random text group chain gets thrown in. You're probably thinking instantly it's spam, right? With 6, 7 numbers.
Yes.
Then you start reading the text, and they're like golf videos, and then it's like somebody ha-haing, and then it's like
somebody congrating Scotty on something like, what?
Scotty,
Who's Scotty?
hell of a shot here, and look what Roars is doing right now.
Right.
Eventually, I think if you're not deleting, you're figuring out this is a golf group chat.
Yes.
I think you're initially starting out thumbs-upping everything.
Just giving a, yeah.
And then if you do something like thumbs up it and somebody responds with just a thumbs up, Bryson, I think you try to figure out, oh my God, do they have the wrong number? I think you gotta mask this the whole time until the very end. And
until the very end.
Guys, I'm actually not Bryson DeChambeau, but thank you for letting me be a part of this. Go USA.
What if you got invited to like a practice round? Hey, by the way, we're getting together at X course. We're going to go play a practice round.
And then you invited me. I got the text.
You guys said I could come.
I bet you they let him in.
I bet they would.
Not
for
to play, but to maybe be with him and caddy or hang out or whatever.
Come walk around. You'll be all right.
I think you got to try to slow play it. I think you want to be around a little bit longer here.
I just love the idea of some random guy. It's also hilarious if that person, because these people exist who have no clue, one, what the Ryder Cup is or who PGA Tour golfers are. Like, if you're one of those people that got invited,
you're a sports guy and every
like, because he jokes at the end, he's like, I think the person was like, "Good luck with whatever you guys are doing." Like, he's just somebody you have no clue. Like, you have no idea you're texting right now. You're just totally out of the left field. But
yeah,
the ego of Bryson to act as if he's prime Tiger Woods in terms of a media draw. Can't stand it, and that was a pretty funny story about the wrong number. And we can all relate. That green text showing up in a group chat, we can all relate to that.
What are you going to do if I do make the switch to a flip phone? Because I'm going to be a green guy.
Yeah, you'll be a green guy.
I'm not proud of that part.
I mean, our group chat with the show is already a bastard text group.
It really is.
Because Swigard's not an iPhone guy. So he's already a green, so it doesn't really change my life that much.
I'll at least tell you that if I become a green group chat guy, I'm acknowledging I'm the problem.
Thank you. That's all I need from you.
Yeah, I'm awful.
As long as you do that,
totally get it.
I'm totally happy with it. More Magic Hat to come next. 105.1 FM, The Fan.
And 1080 AM.
All right, time for a F update. First on the Fan. We talked about the Cubs earlier. They had 3 straight walk-offs, 8 straight wins, 14 straight wins at home. But their pitching somehow is still just keeps adding to the IL list. First it was Justin Steele and Cade Horton, and now the newest addition to the IL is Matthew Boyd, who injured his left meniscus while playing with his kids at home yesterday.
Yeah, I saw that.
Ouch, that's how he got hurt?
Yeah.
Playing with his kids?
Yeah. He was already hurt. He came back. He was having a good start again to his season, and then he tore his meniscus playing with his children.
This terrifies me every time I play with Teddy. When something's going to pop.
Yeah, exactly.
You got to be active.
I know, you got to stay active. I'm not shutting it down and wrapping in bubble here, but I'm leery.
Yeah. Terrible news for the Cubbies. Still red hot. Them and the Rays in MLB. How about this one in the animal kingdom? Rarely seen or documented, the incredibly rare case of a solo mama polar bear raising and adopting a stranded cub in Manitoba.
What?
Never. Scientists don't really get to document this stuff. They've always thought this was a thing.
Mama wanted a baby.
That could be happening. Mama didn't have baby. Mama wanted baby.
Yeah.
There's baby. Mama got baby.
We just got done in a Magic Hat segment criticizing Florida State and Georgia for doing the greedy thing and canceling their home and home and robbing their fans of enjoyment. Yep. So how about we flip it in the update and give credit to 2 programs who are not doing that, as it has been announced. Alabama and Ohio State will stick with their home and home series in 2027, 2028. So 2 years from now, I can't remember who hosts first, but you're going to get an Alabama-Ohio State home and home in Tuscaloosa and in Columbus.
Nice. That's Stir Brandon and Brandon from the George McCoy at Warren Allen Sports Desk. Don't call your mom. Call George McCoy at warrenallen.com.
This is the Fan Sports Network.
Segment of Magic Hats to get to, and then we'll close up the show with the night ahead in sports. Only one game in the Stanley Cup playoffs tonight. The NBA does return. Does it deliver tonight? Can the Lakers pull off a shocker?
Ready for Johnny Manziel in boxing?
What? Johnny Manziel's boxing now? Is that what he's doing?
I guess.
That's the pivot?
Yeah, I guess.
We're to that level of desperation for money? Somebody to bang his brains around a little bit?
Aren't we all?
I mean, yeah. How much would you have to take a punch from like Prime Mike Tyson? How much would I have to pay you?
What's the amount I'd pay you to do a celebrity boxing match against Danny on our YouTube page?
What's the amount of money you have to pay me?
Yeah.
Tax-free or taxed?
Pre-tax.
Pre-tax?
And they're like, we need you in duck shorts. Danny's going to be in Trojan shorts.
Do you know how quick that fight would be over in terms of both of us not having the energy and stamina to continue. We would throw punches for one round. And both of us would go to the corner and say, all right, that's enough.
Well, how much?
If you gave me 10 G's, I would do it.
10 G's pre-tax?
10 G's pre-tax. I'd do it.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Can we sell this?
Can we sell
Fight Night on the Fan?
Find a sponsor for 10
Fight
G's.
Night on the Fan? Oh, my gosh.
Yeah, I would run out. I mean, the fight would be over in 90 seconds because I would just...
You think you'd be more out of breath than him?
I don't know if I would be more than him. I'm just saying I know that I would be. So I don't know who would win in a race to be out of breath, but I know both of us would get there, and I certainly would.
I'd be the guy in the corner. Throw the damn tail, man!
A boxing match with you and me would be less entertaining because I would just chase you around the ring for 2 rounds and then be like, all right, dude, I'm done.
Wait, why are you chasing me? Why am I...
Fastest kid alive. Fastest kid alive. I can't catch him. I can't get a hand on
You're
him.
throwing up in the bucket during the breaks between
No other
rounds?
faster kid alive. Stop Blake's phone. All right, what else we got in the Magic app?
All right. Jim, you help me?
You didn't quite read it the way I wanted you to read it, but that's okay.
Can you read it then?
Yeah.
That's the problem I have with these is that you guys anticipate me to pronounce
Yes,
that correctly.
we don't tell
and
you.
I don't. I fail for you.
Team,
So you go ahead.
You help me?
There we go.
Oh, okay.
Shannon Elizabeth, welcome back into our lives.
Yes.
Shannon Elizabeth, you may remember from American Pie fame as the foreign exchange student. Haven't seen her a lot. She has not been invited back to the Scary Movie series. She was really disappointed by that. So what is she doing? If you can't find an acting gig and you're gorgeous and people are obsessed with you.
Still looks good for her age, by the way.
You go into the only thing you can, OnlyFans. Yeah, Shannon Elizabeth in the first week of OnlyFans made $1.4 million. She said she made more doing OnlyFans in 1 week than she did on American Pie and Scary Movie combined.
That's why people do it.
$1.4 million for Shannon Elizabeth, week 1 OnlyFans.
It's also funny because her most notable role, maybe this is unfair to her. If there's one out there that I'm forgetting, please alert me. But American Pie has to be her most notable role, right?
Far and away.
Okay.
It was the introduction into her.
Right. And her scene, the theme of her being in it.
Have you seen her in Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back?
I've never seen Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back. I know that
Guess
offends
what?
a lot of people.
She's a love interest who's really hot.
I mean, in American Pie, she's dancing and she's, you see it.
Our first
It's
webcam.
there.
That was our introduction into the internet.
That's the one thing of like some celebrities doing it. You never got a glimpse of it in a movie, and you're always like, "Hey, that piques your interest." We got a glimpse of her.
Well, we got a glimpse of
and people are still paying for it.
Yeah, they are.
I don't know what level of content she's doing, but good for her.
So that's the thing is she was interviewed about this because she's just open. She's 52.
Yeah,
and she's like, I made $1.4 million in the first week, and they were like, well, what kind of content are you going to do? And she goes, we'll start out classy and. I guess I'll just have to kind of play it by ear to see what I'm willing and not willing to do.
What is classy OnlyFans content? What does that mean? Is that like your level of super cash? How do you define classy OnlyFans
super sexy
content?
Granny panties.
Is she like reading a book and drinking a glass of tea behind a fire? Music on in the background?
I assume
people
it's
just watching her like
very provocative lingerie with tasty positions.
Okay, all right.
Maybe showing the up tops because if you did it in a movie for less money, why would you not do it on the OnlyFans for more money?
She just like cooking dinner topless? That's what her OnlyFans content is?
I mean, there's some gals who are basically doing that, but they're not topless, but they're
just cooking dinner.
They're cooking dinner in very provocative outfits.
Okay, all right. That's
so I mean, I don't know what. I'm not a member. I'm not a paying member.
I don't king shame. Whatever you want to spend money on, you spend money on. But that's an interesting one for me.
$1.4 million in 1 week.
How do more people not see this and think to themselves? That's generational. Like if you could, that's 1 week. It's not gonna go away.
Yeah,
like
but
it
if
might
you
not
live in the hills in
you might have
Hollywood,
peaked.
that's nothing.
I know, but just go down the line. Like the other gal who did this was the gal from The Sopranos.
Really?
The girlfriend. What is her name? The girlfriend.
Ariana.
Yes, she went on OnlyFans and she made a killing.
Well, yeah. That's an old fantasy for a lot of guys.
That's my point. How many people see these headlines and are like, Like, how much money is Topanga making to do the Boy Meets World podcast? Probably. I mean, she's been doing fine, I'm sure. How much money could she make if she went on OnlyFans?
She just did Dancing with the Stars, too, so she's getting
she's got the rep out there. I get it. I'm just saying.
I don't think she's the kind, but not everybody wants to do that. They don't want to show that.
My argument simply is that would be really hard to know you possess the ability
to make that kind of money.
I don't possess that ability. But
we all have our limits,
If I went on OnlyFans, nobody's paying for it.
What about OnlyToes?
See, my big nipples and my toes aren't going to do anything for you. I'm not making any money. But if you told me I had the ability to make $1 million a week to walk around my house naked,
yeah, I mean, they've calculated, like, the highest paid OnlyFans person, like, 2 years ago was actually the male rapper Tyga, whose biggest claim to fame was probably dating Kylie Jenner when she was not 18.
Oh,
but, like, secretly doing it.
All right.
Very awkwardly.
Was he 18?
He was over 18.
They call that rape, buddy.
Well, they technically weren't together.
Oh, of course they weren't.
They were always seen, like, holding hands. It was very awkward.
That's against the law, dude.
Well, it's not, because, legally they weren't doing anything. But, like, that was his biggest claim to fame. He was, like, the highest grossing OnlyFans person. I don't know what he was producing content-wise.
Walking around nude.
I mean, you're doing a Magic Mike thing there in a singlet. I don't know. But some people just don't want to go to that extreme.
I get it. You don't have to do it for life. Do it for 6 months. Hang them up. See you later.
I don't know if that's how that works either.
Why not?
Because there might be an obligation.
For a certain amount of time.
Well, if people are paid members.
Well, if I shut down my OnlyFans, you don't have to pay anymore.
Okay. If you say so.
If you gave me $1 million a week, I'd do about anything.
I don't think you would do it.
You don't think I would?
No. You
have a
child. You're going to have 2 children.
There's certain limits that I wouldn't do.
You have to think about that stuff, too, as like your kids
like
are
paying
out there.
for college and buying them a car someday, and, braces cost thousands of dollars. And
you think at the rate we're going, you're going to afford any of that?
It's my whole point.
No, I mean, even
if I had $1 million a week, I would.
Good luck.
Just to see my nipples. Yeah. What else we got in there?
Not now, man.
This kind of is a 2-part NFL one. Let's start with the first one. I don't know if there's been a more problematic player sans horrific crimes than Tyreek Hill.
Pretty bad.
Off the field.
Pretty bad.
Right? We got some bad ones.
He hasn't killed anybody.
Killed people, murdered dogs. That's happened.
Hired assassins,
right? Yeah, but like Tyreek Hill is a special piece of trash.
Pretty consistently special piece of trash.
Well, right now he's under deposition because there's a media influencer who's quite tall and quite extra large. Think OnlyFans backsides. And she is claiming in a lawsuit that Tyreek Hill broke her leg and assaulted her.
Okay.
And he is not denying physically touching her, but what he is saying is, he's basically citing that he wants to climb the tree is what he told her.
Aha.
Because Tyreek Hill's not a tall man.
Well, as a short, I can acknowledge that's a fantasy for a lot of shorts.
And in doing so, broke her leg.
Oh.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Yep.
What?
Yep. That's what brought on the lawsuit. Yeah.
Has there ever been somebody who showed you who they were in the pre-draft process?
Still got rewarded for it?
Got rewarded for it and has never had, because of that, never been faced with any form of serious
what
consequence.
punishment has he ever faced?
He went to Kansas City.
Being traded to Miami?
Won Super Bowls and then got traded to Miami and got a massive contract extension. He's never been held accountable. He punched his pregnant girlfriend in the stomach.
The only person who's held him accountable was his future ex-wife who lit their house on fire.
Yeah, that's about it. Other than that, do whatever you want.
She went left eye on him.
This is one of those, I don't know what his future holds. I'd hope another lawsuit means it's ultimately done. He's coming off an injury. I don't know if there's anything left in the tank. What a dirty feeling if your team signs him. And that's fill in the blank for any team. Now that there's not scumbags or bad people already on your roster, of just like, how do you twist yourself into a pretzel to defend that?
Speaking of defending yourself into a pretzel to defend that, the other part of this is another NFL player who's a very nice guy. I think people are rooting for him. Drake May recently asked about the off-field stuff of Mike Vrabel. Classified his coach as a, quote, great human being.
What do you want him to say? There's no right answer.
How about
there,
no
dude.
comment?
He can't no comment because
Why?
a no comment is a big, he's not even willing to defend his head coach. That becomes a thing. There's no right answer here. I'll defend my guy, Drake. I'll defend him here.
It's hard to do that after the boat stuff came out. It's a bad look. Not right now, man. Just step away.
That's my guy, dude.
Do what Seth Rogen did in 40-Year-Old Virgin. No habla English, lady.
That's my guy.
Walk away. No habla English.
I'm here to talk about the future, not the past.
Yes.
Pull a Mark McGuire.
We're just focused right now internally
ahead.
on what
Training
we're going to
camp.
do and how we can build off last season. That's all you need to do. A great human being.
There you go.
I mean, nice to you, sure.
Oh, jeez. Magic Hat every Thursday at 9 a.m. It always delivers. We'll get to our poll question of the day. I just posted it. We'll get you set for your night in sports. Wrap it up on Thursday next. 105.1 FM The Fan. right, welcome back in. Last one for us. We got the Neighborhood Restaurant Group poll question of the day. We'll get to that in a moment. Get you set for your night in sports. A couple of games in the NBA playoffs. Only one in the Stanley Cup playoffs tonight. Our Tommy Two Nichols, his team, can they go up 3-0? We'll get to that in a moment. But Brandon has requested, he will not. He's filling in this week for Swag, doing an awesome job. We love working with Brandon. He's an onion. We talked about that earlier.
Me too.
We learned something new every single day. We peel a new layer back. What are we learning about this guy? But he won't be here for the Magic Hat next week. You have a leftover in the Magic Hat. What is our leftover in the hat?
Yeah, I just thought this image and audio was fitting for this show and how much this show loves glizzies. Last night, the Mets are in Colorado, and there is a hot dog, a 2-foot...
Dude, it's huge.
A 2-foot-long hot dog. I think it weighs a pound.
Yes.
And it's meant for sharing. So, of course, Keith Hernandez and Steve Gibbs decided to show that on the air.
Ready? Just the end. What's Lady and the Tramp?
They share a hot dog just like that.
Spaghetti,
right?
It's very romantic, Keith.
It is kind of beefy.
All right.
You know that image is going to live forever. You're never going to be able to live that down, either one of you.
For Keith, he won't be able to live it down. For me, it's a career highlight.
That's a great line. How long would a hot dog have to be to share it with me?
Right.
I'd do that.
If it's the 2-foot glizzy?
Have you seen the video?
I've seen the video. It's hilarious.
By the way, there's no way
they're each like
ways.
holding it with two hands, and they're each taking a bite on the opposite end.
ends.
Yeah,
That's called elephantitis in the food world. There's no way that's only 1 pound. I looked at that thing.
That's what they're claiming, a 1 pound
I think
dog?
they're claiming 1 pound. It's 2 feet long. Like,
I mean, it's skinny. I could see it being a pound.
I don't know about that.
You thinking it's more than that?
I would do this for the comedic. I don't care about it being on video forever.
No, it's funny.
It's a funny moment in time.
Yeah.
Who is the celebrity you jump on with because you know this is the biggest part of your life, whereas they're just going to get made fun of that this existed once? Like if Dame Lillard had a hot dog, I'll eat the other end.
Wouldn't somebody say the Fire game he was pounding glizzies the other night?
I did. I told you. He was on video pounding glizzies courtside.
Throwing glizzies
Probably
back.
doing it again this weekend.
Dude, it's my guy right there. It's my guy. It's
Yeah.
Dame Lillard.
Yeah. It'd be funny, though.
It would be really funny.
He's just awkwardly eating it like a normal human being. You're scarfing it down like, dude, you're really trying to get to his end, aren't you?
If you have not seen the video, it's worth a watch. Go give it a search. They're eating each side of the hot dog. And yes, we do love glizzies around here. I think it's a great poll by Brandon.
Well, Keith just came back because he had surgery on his lower back.
He did.
And so he makes this triumphant comeback. You know, he's in a cane. They do the broadcast. Hey, welcome back to the booth, man. And they basically like, how was it? He's like, great drugs. Great drugs.
Love the drugs.
Love the morphine.
I was high as a kite the entire time I was out.
$45 that hot dog, by the way.
$45?
Well, I didn't get to it, and I didn't put it in the hat.
Hot damn.
$45 for that, or the $100 Grand Prix Miami hot dog that they had at the race.
I mean, I will take that one just because it's cheaper. It's a hot dog. And spending $100 on a hot dog, you're an idiot.
But what are you doing in the 2-foot dog?
I'm not getting it. If I go to a game, I'm not splitting it with a buddy, like, because that's not. It's funny to do as a bit on the radio, but like if you're sitting next to a buddy, hey, you want to split a hot dog? But even if you get like a normal hot dog's costing you $15. Hopefully not that much, less than that.
Like 10, yeah.
You never know in New York.
Sure.
Dude, prices are a little outrageous right now.
Like 10 or 12, I think.
Right, so they're still spendy, but like that's if you're splitting it two ways at $45, that's still more expensive than a normal hot dog.
Right.
I would argue it's actually funnier. You and a random buddy being in on a joke at a random ballpark, eating very lovely a 2-foot dog from both ends, not caring about everybody else just staring at you.
I think they have to be in the seat in front of you, though. Put them in the seat in front of you, turn around.
I have you standing on the tall tables in the concession area doing it so that everybody walking by is like, what are those dudes doing?
I think sitting down next to somebody random to who you don't know, sitting down with that thing, it's a foot long. Hey, you want a little piece of this, huh? You want a little bite of this action?
What if you're sandwiching
You went on that end over there, I'll handle it over here, you get it over there.
You have one person in between you, and you and your friend have the 2-foot dog in front of them, and you start slowly whittling down.
How close are you
and
getting?
they're just sitting there like, do I say something? Or what?
At what point? When the noses touch, you gotta bail. You gotta get out of there. I said I go 90, you go 10. Yes, somebody asked your neighborhood restaurant poll question of the day should be, which fan personality would make the most on OnlyFans? We can holster that for a Magic Hat. I don't know if we have enough time to unpack that one.
What are they doing? What do you think the content is? I don't know,
Depends on what you want to do, man. Depends on what kind of content you're in, you know?
I'm gonna take myself out of this. I have no idea.
I know it wouldn't be me. That's for damn certain. I know it would not be me.
Well, it depends who subscribes.
I think if you're
Jordan Schultz subscribing to my OnlyFans?
Yes, he is.
I might make a good amount.
Then you're making a decent amount?
$15 a month.
Schultze in a Mariner thong watching Mariner games would probably deliver the most amount of money. Like him just sitting on his couch.
It'd also be the biggest mix of people subscribing for different reasons.
Him in a Mariner thong and his like Mariner headband thing.
Yeah.
Yelling at the television.
Yeah, and like
watching the game,
6.
every game. Jumping up and down.
Yeah,
eat your own butt.
That would probably do it.
That's what they'd be typing into his chat.
Do it, Jordan. Do it.
In the middle of the game, they'd be like typing in, the Mariners give up a run, and they'd be typing in, eat your own butt.
Your neighborhood
Here's
restaurant
$4.
group brings you the fan poll question on X every day and dinner tonight at one of their 5 locations. San Diego's Big's Chicken, Reverend's Barbecue, 808 Hawaiian, and Laurelhurst Market Steakhouse. Your question today. Ooh, somebody said shirtless swag, smoking meats.
What do you some type it? What are you smoking there, Jason? And he turns and he just looks at you and he goes,
chest hair.
Pork butt.
Put some honey on this thing. What? Smack it.
You know you'd be
smack your meat. Your neighborhood restaurant group poll question of the day. You get to pick what college football playoff format do you want? Back to 4, stick to 12, go to 16, or let's push this baby to 24. I voted go to 16.
16 feels right.
16, Sprague. Do it. Do it. You know you want to do it.
Make the Pop-Tart Bowl a playoff game.
Not answering the
We're
question.
going to 24.
52% right now say go to 16.
Also, Oregon State might make the playoff pretty
You'd have a decent shot there. Yeah, you could, 7-5 is good enough to make the
Shepherd
playoff
would
now,
never
man.
need to leave. He'd be
No.
a king in Corvallis.
It's a playoff perennial contender.
Come on.
Did we get a good night in the NBA tonight? That's not encouraging.
I don't think so.
I'm not very encouraged.
2-0 Pistons?
No.
You think the Cavs win tonight?
1-1 Cavs.
Thunder roll again?
Thunder end up rolling again, yeah.
All right, we'll see if Tommy Two Dimes can get his Carolina Hurricanes 1 win away from the Eastern Conference Final. They're in Philly tonight. Game 3 of that series. Should be fun.
Tommy Dundon hoisting the cup.
Would be pretty funny.
Bad.
Has no bearing, though. The guy's a bad owner. That'll do it for us, folks. If you miss any of the show, go check the podcast, 1051thefan.com, at 1051thefan on Twitter. Thanks, everybody, for watching on YouTube. Like the video, subscribe to the channel if you have not done so yet. We love you. And Landon Tangwall was great, talking some college football out of spring for Oregon, for Washington, the rest of the Big Ten schools. Go check that one, 1051thefan.com and YouTube. That will do it for us, folks. We will talk to you tomorrow at 6 a.m. The Firm, Harrison Meringue is next. Listen to 1051 FM, The Fan.
The Firm of Harris and Meringue.